Life's a ride, so let's make it count. Cherish every moment, that's what it's about. Tune in, together we're building our groove. Every beat, every laugh, we're ready to move. A little laughter, some love, we're soaring high. Every single episode reaching for the sky. News on the airwaves, spreading good vibes. Friends together, watch how our spirits rise. Kick back, unwind, leave the troubles behind. This podcast is gold, the treasure you'll find. With every word, we'll light up your day. Join the conversation, let's laugh all the way. A little laughter, some love, we're soaring high. Every single episode reaching for the sky. News on the airwaves, spreading good vibes. Friends together, watch how our spirits rise. Keep back, unwind, leave your troubles behind. This podcast is...
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the cafe. Hope you're all having a great day and a great weekend. It's great to see you all. Thank you for being here today. How is everyone? Mama Bear is going to be joining us here shortly. She had to run some errands this morning, and she will be popping in here, probably scaring me soon. Come on in, guys, and grab a seat. We're going to see what's going on in the world today. Current events, crazy news, new news, old news, that news, this news, your news, my news, our news, all the news. Whatever news. Welcome back, guys. Thank you guys for being here today. Thank you guys for joining me last night for the Creepy Unexplained and Scary Saturday Night show. I hope those of you that were with us enjoyed it. I thought it was fairly decent. I did something a little different last night. I actually tried to scare you guys a little bit, or at least weird you out. So hopefully it worked a little. Not too bad, just a little. It was actually a really, really interesting. It all played together well. It worked out the way I wanted it to. So just put it that way. So thank you guys for joining me for that last night. Let's see who else we got in here right now. Miss Bonnie Bailey. Good morning, dear. Wonderful to see you. Sassy Cassie's in here on a Sunday morning. Good Lord. What is going on out there today? Mr. Chris is in the house. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Miss Josie, welcome back. It wasn't the Black Eyed Kids, no. No. I did not do that again, Josie. Brady B, the OG, welcome back to you. Christy, Nevada, welcome back. Great to see you. Let me see here. Alicia J's in the house. Good to see you, Miss Alicia. Thank you for joining me. Denise, welcome back. Good to see you here today. Miss Stormy, of course, like I said. I guess Miss Stormy came in and cleaned the place up, vacuumed, and sprayed some air freshener, lit some candles. Thank you, Miss Stormy. Trish Crow's in the house. Welcome back. Good to see you. Undead Ramen. Hey, welcome back. Good to see you. Let me see here. Jilly Bean. Wonderful to see you, Jilly Bean. Lacey Pear, True Crime. Good to see you. Got some amazing peeps in here today. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this Sunday, March 30th. The month is over, guys. It's crazy. Seahawks fan, Miss Tandy's in the house. Hello. Welcome back. Sasha's gravy sure does sound good. I'll tell you that much. DKM, welcome back to you. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us today. See my wonderful black eyes looking so great, huh? Nope. Shut your mouth. Paula Fitzhenry, welcome. Great to see you today, Miss Paula. You too, hush. Social Glow, hello and welcome. Let's see. Miss Jules in here? Yes, she is. Hello, Miss Jules. Good morning, all you amazing meatballs. Thank you for jumping in the sauce with us today so we can spill some. Yeah, I did. I did. I didn't even go to makeup this morning. Rubbing it. It's my allergies are killing me. They have been. Sorry, guys. My granddaughter just jumped in here. And my eyes got real super itchy the other morning. As soon as she opened the windows up. And all I did was rub this one a few times. And it just, yeah, I tore it up. Don't do that, guys. You'll find out. Well, my eyes are super green today, too. That's weird. I must be in a good mood. We took our humidifiers out early, so but oh yeah, guys, it was no joke. It's weird though because it usually doesn't hit hard like that until about okay. North Carolina Mountain Man, hey, what's going on? CRG, hello and welcome. Oh, Chris, okay, gotcha, bud. Watch those storms today. I heard, well, my wife said it wasn't supposed to today, but you never know. You never know. That's a good papa right there, y'all. Wish me and my wife luck. We were thinking about having another little one. Oh, hey. Good luck, brother. I got you in my thoughts and prayers for sure. I know. As long as you keep them near you and you protect them, it'll be all right. That's the way we got to do it nowadays. I know. I saw that. Almost everybody's in a danger zone today. You guys be careful, please. Please be careful. Be safe. Be vigilant. Keep your head on a swivel. Yeah, we have a lot of bad outdoor allergy stuff here, guys. Hey, Social Glow. Especially in the fall, we get that ragweed crap. It's crazy. Thank you, Stormy dear. We might look at that today. It's that time of year. Right? Come on down. LR, good to see you today. Just making sure I caught everybody. 54 peeps in the house, 23 likes. See if we can make that match. You guys, please make sure to hit the like button when you come to the door. Victorine, welcome back, dear. Good to see you. And the bird's in the house, flipping me off as she comes to the door. Thank you, Tomboy. I love you too. Tomboy's got a birthday coming up that we're gonna celebrate in here like we always do. Klein's going live tonight. Missing Black People Are Forgotten. That's great to hear, Chris. Thank you for that. We'll have to throw Klein's link in here and have you guys that have not subscribed check it out, if you will. Wonderful to see you, Victorine. Thank you for being here. Rhode Island's in the house. Good to see you. Guys, if you would like, since we have 52 of you guys in here today, do me a favor since we're waiting a little bit, kind of waiting on Mama Bear. Do me a favor and let me know where everybody's tuning in from. I'm just curious. I love seeing it. We do it every so often. I know where some of you guys are, but the rest of you guys, I love seeing where you guys are coming from. Mr. Chris is out of Kansas. Uh-oh. Him and Toto are hanging out in Kansas, hoping that they stay there. No tornadoes there today, hopefully. Of course, I'm guessing Rhode Island housewife is in Rhode Island. Christy's out of Western PA. Miss Josie's in New York. With Kim French, welcome from up north in Canada. Stormy's down in the DFW, Dallas, Fort Worth. Alicia's, of course, my neighbor up in Michigan. I love it. Of course, Tandy's at her house. You know, I knew that was coming. Denise is in Missouri, an hour west of St. Louis. Be careful down there in Missouri, Miss Denise. LR's out of Illinois. Victorine's Nova Scotia, Canada. Dandy's in Western Colorado. Welcome, Dandy. Good to see you. DFW. Yes. Dallas, Fort Worth. Sorry. Tomboy lives in the house with Tandy. Yes, we know. I know where you're both at. You're both in the depths of hell down in Texas. Sunday Doodles is also from Kansas. That's awesome. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss nobody. New York. Sarge is from upstate New York too. Let's see. Hit it. No. Good to see you, Social. I know Sassy's in Washington. Let me see here. I think I got everybody else. SRB's not in here right now, but she's here with me in Ohio. Let me double check. Arctica's in Arkansas. That's correct. Brandy B's in Arkansas as well. We got peeps from everywhere. I love seeing that. I do. The bird is a sign of love in this house. Just ask the redhead. I will do that one of these days. I always give everybody the Frank finger. You guys ever saw the movie Moving with Richard Pryor? He got so mad at Randy Quaid's character, his neighbor, that he went to go flip him off, and he went with the wrong finger. That was hilarious to me. I love that. Social said I lived in Akron for a bit. I'm so sorry to hear that, Social. That place is rough. It is rough. I live probably 20 minutes east of Akron. Mikey's sleeping, of course. He probably had a long night last night. It means you're number one. Well, thank you, ladies. I do appreciate that. Miss Allison, welcome back. So how many people, let me ask a question. After last night's show, how many people were a little creeped out about last night's show? The way it all came together when I finally did all that and it all played together. Just curious. I was trying to do something different last night than what I typically do. Job transfer. Oh, that'll do it. I get it. My daughter lives in Cuyahoga Falls. She basically works at she works for Goodyear. She's the oh my God, IT something for Goodyear. When I flip you the pinky finger, you better run it high. It means you don't mean enough to me, even to get the middle finger. The pinky finger? That's interesting. Woof. Hello, Mom. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am okay. Are you feeling better today?
Other than being dizzy, yes.
Did that go away yet?
Not yet. It'll take a couple hours. Medicine in the system.
You got your meds in you, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
I flipped. I was like, oh my gosh.
You completely forgot.
Yesterday.
So do I need to take down your med schedule and you take down mine so we can remind each other?
I just take mine every morning, and it's usually first thing I do is I get up, I make my drink, take my meds, and then whatever after that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what I did yesterday. I think I was worried about my desktop, and so I just kind of got.
Josie said we need to confirm that it's the mama bear because she doesn't hear any typing. That was good. That was good, Josie. Um, good morning, CZ. Yes, for those of you that aren't familiar, Mama Bear, her microphone is so ultra sensitive that she'd be typing. It sounded like she was chipping away at some kind of a piece of block or something. It was tick 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 tick. It was crazy. But she has a great microphone, obviously. And wasn't that a headset microphone doing that?
Um,
Holy hell!
let's see. Back then, probably yeah. It would have been my just
Oh,
the generic Logi $20 gaming headset that I normally use.
yeah,
And
it
then I
was
got
very
a quiet keyboard, and it broke Josie's heart.
one of the soft touch ones. Yeah, I got one of those too. My E button sticks all the time though. I don't know why. What the hell is going on in the world today? SRBBB's in here and it's Sunday. How are you not sleeping, SRB? And she's gone. Oh, she's probably setting up her side of things. Here we go. All right. Hi there. Are you good?
No,
What happened?
I've got to remember how I need to write it down every time I do this, how I do it so that I can do it right every time.
I know, I know. Did it show up today this time?
It did, but then when I logged in, now we're not linked. So
It
yeah.
kills me.
So you know what? It's Sunday. Just we're good.
Are you
Not even
sure?
done. Yeah.
Well, I still have the link up there, guys. Please still go over to Mama Bears and like it. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell. You don't want to miss nothing. Please and thank ya. Yeah, we were up pretty late last night, guys. It was wild. So nobody responded to my question. No, so she did. Not creepy. You couldn't keep up last night. Okay. It was interesting. It was interesting what I did last night. I played the original story out of Russia. Um uh uh Kamar Deban. Good morning, Miss Val. And Alicia said I did. You didn't see it.
Thank you, Allison.
And then I went back and we showed the map. Molly was in here. We pulled a map and we showed where all the military bases were. I showed the Dyatlov Pass situation, and then we brought in a story of a notebook that was found, supposedly, and translated of a grandfather to this guy, and said his grandfather knew what happened to Dyatlov Pass, and it all blended together. It was the whole point that I was trying to do, and I thought it was a little creepier than what it normally would have been. It was pretty interesting the way it went out, I thought. It was interesting as all hell, though. I'll say that much. The way it played, I liked it. And SRB, I'm surprised you stayed there at all. It was late. I woke up to Bailey Sarian this morning, too. My wife puts that on in the middle of the night. We have to listen to Bailey all the time. I don't know why. You got sucked into watching Rebel Ridge. I thought the hail last night was going to shatter our cheese. That's crazy. Let's see. Did we get anybody else? Good morning, Miss Val. Jesse Schul's in the house. You now have people watching you in Cambodia. Interesting. How close are you to Cambodia, Jesse? I know you're in Thailand. I don't know that world map very well from that side of the place of the planet. God, I would kill to be where he's at right now. The weather is the beach and the water and the tree. It's so beautiful there. It really is. Really is.
Bugs that you wouldn't like or something.
Well, yeah, they got bugs and creatures there, but
Oh, cool.
oh, he's on a business trip in Cambodia. Got you, brother. Got you. You be careful there, my friend. For a whole week, be very careful. I don't know what it's like in Cambodia, but how long have you been in Thailand, Jesse? I did, Tomboy. I was going to touch on that this morning. Another case I'm obsessed with. Oh, hold on here. Yes. Somebody sent me an email. That case is driving me insane. What's the world like in Cambodia today, sir? Guys, again, if you can, I'm going to ask. I don't know. I think she's still there, but please keep Miss Wisdom Speaks in her thoughts and prayers. She's not feeling real good, and she can use a little extra prayer to make her feel a little bit better, guys. Please and thank you. We appreciate it so much. All right, go grab you some fruit, Social. Josie. What's going on over here? What did I miss? Thank you so much for joining us today, SRB. I did not expect to see you. Grateful to have you here. Thank you, Mittens, and good to see you. And thank you. Be careful there, Mittens. All right. Guess we can get some things started. One moment.
Does anybody know off the top of their head what grocery store sells True Moo milk? Is that Kroger? Or it's not Walmart, because I was there this morning.
Giant Eagle has it, but I don't know if you guys have Giant Eagles.
Nope. I guess I
And I think Sparkle has it too. But again, I don't know if you have those.
My boy said Kroger. So I guess there's a new Minecraft movie coming out. And apparently, yeah, it checked Walmart. I was there this morning, North Carolina Mountain Inn, and they didn't have it. So I was really surprised. So I'll check our Kroger. But I guess they have it's True Moo brand, but it's Minecraft milk and it's green. And my middle child is dying to have this Minecraft milk.
True Moo, huh?
Mm-hmm. They have a
Cat
picture.
Jenks, hello, my friend. Walmart doesn't have it. I thought ours had it too, North Carolina. True Moo. They do have good chocolate milk. I'll tell you that much. Yes. We got it for the kids and I tried it. I was like, holy shit, that's good. My favorite. Go ahead. It is definitely green.
It's got the little creeper dude on it.
I see it. That's wild. Okay. I don't know that I've seen that at Walmart yet, but I know the other True Moo stuff they carry. So here.
Yeah.
Yours don't, obviously. Josie said, does the milk make them turn into little square pixels? I bet.
I don't know. I'll let you know after I get it and my daughter drinks it, if she turns into a little square pixel.
They expect it. Allison says again, Kroger has it. What's your main like grocery outlet there?
Kroger, Walmart, Target.
I wouldn't buy it from Target.
Costco.
She said Kroger's has it, and she just checked.
Okay. All right. Cool.
There you go. It does. That one looks like Mountain Dew. I agree with Chris.
It
does. All right, y'all. As we all know, since Tomboy spoiled it already, I have been obsessively following the Ladybird Lake situation. We have another situation.
Another one?
Yes, another one found. Hold on.
I'm Corporal Jose Mendez. That's JOSEMENDEZ. And I'm with the Austin Police Department Public Information Office. So before I provide any information about the death investigation that's currently underway here near the 90 block of Congress Avenue, on behalf of the Austin Police Department, our condolences go out to the victim's family, friends, and anybody that may be affected by this tragic and unfortunate situation that took place this morning or late last night. I can't begin to imagine how the family moves forward in the next few days, weeks, or even months. But I want to assure the family that we here at APD will do everything we can to figure out what took place here this morning and how this happened. With that said, at approximately 8:21 a.m. this morning, just before 8:30, APD officers responded to Lady Bird Lake here in the area of 90 Congress Avenue, and that was in reference to a welfare check. We did have a caller 911 center is stating that while they were jogging, they believed to observe an individual face down in the water. At that time,
hold on. What's going? Did I miss something over here? That's it. No, Stormy. Yeah, it's definitely a serial killer in my opinion. It's of some form. It has been going on way too long, and there's been too much going on with it, and too many. So it's a serial situation. I don't know what form of a serial killer it would be. I don't believe it's what you would imagine on a standard. I don't know how to explain this. What a typical serial killer would be. This is a different situation, in my opinion. Hey, Cotty. And it's still bad, obviously, but I think it's an organized situation with more than one person. I'll put it that way. All right.
Austin police officers, the Austin Fire Department, Austin Travis County EMS responded to the scene. They quickly located an individual face down in the water and recovered that individual from the water. Unfortunately, at approximately 9:08 this morning, that individual was pronounced deceased here on scene. At this time, we have homicide detectives on scene. We have several of our patrol units from our downtown area. We have our crime scene specialists, as well as a few officers from our department.
No, North Carolina. It's typically been all men. Okay. There was one woman that was found, and it was a little bit of a different situation. So I'm curious to know if this is male or female. So we'll see.
Of public safety assisting in this investigation. Right now, we're trying to determine what actually took place and why this happened. Right now, we have officers canvassing the area.
Good morning, Trish. And yes, you're right. Like I said, I in the traditional sense of a serial killer is what I was trying to explain. I think this is an organized group of people that are doing this because of the fact with the research and investigation that I did into this, looking into it, it all comes back to the same MO with almost all male victims. And welcome, Taylor. And I believe it's an organized situation that people are doing this for financial gain. That's my main theory. It could be something way easier than that too. So don't disquote what don't take what I'm saying completely to heart. I'm just saying that's what my thought is on this, but it could just be somebody that's a whack job doing this too. So they become intoxicated, they become super vulnerable. Easiest way to rob them and throw them in the river or the lake. I'm sorry. And that's where we're at in my mind. I don't know that it's a gang per se. I think I think a few other people believe that it's a group of females doing this. I don't know. Of course, Austin PD has played it off like it's nothing, that it's not a serial killer, that it's more coincidental than anything, and I just don't believe that. Welcome, Ms. Lily. Wonderful to see you today. There's way more to this, and I will not let that go. Okay, that's all I'm saying, and I'm going to continuously dig on this until I get what I believe it is out of it. So,
looking for any potential witnesses that may have seen or heard something. We're also trying to locate any surveillance that may have captured anything. Right now, I'm being told that this is an isolated incident with no threat to the public. Right now, I'm being informed also that this is not being investigated as a homicide investigation.
Every time they pull a body from this lake, they say the exact same spiel. This is not being investigated as a homicide. There's no reason for the public to be alarmed. Everybody's safe. That's the same thing. And then they find another one. Guys, this is like, I forgot the number. Are we 16 or higher than that at this point now? I think if we put it all together. Yeah, they look at this, they put this out as like it's an accidental situation that people are walking along and fall into the lake. I won't believe that ever. I don't care who you are. Just I won't. Sorry. From everything we've seen when we tore this apart and pulled it apart. No. Welcome, Kim. Good to see you. I don't believe that.
Investigation. Our preliminary findings here today, this morning, are indicating that no foul play is suspected. However, we encourage the public to contact us if you have any information regarding this incident. If you saw anything, heard anything this morning, late last night, or if any information that could help us with this incident, we encourage you to contact our homicide tip line at 512-477-3588, or you can contact APD Crime Stoppers at 512-472-TIPS. And again, that last number is 512-472-8477. Again, this is a very tragic and unfortunate situation. And right now, I want to thank our local media partners for being here, sharing this information with our community. I also want to thank the men and women of the Austin Police Department. Oftentimes, we forget that these types of tragic events can have a profound impact on them as well as their families. Again, this is very preliminary information. However, I'll try to answer as many questions as I can.
Can you say whether or not it was a man or a woman?
Right now, the findings, what I have right now is it's a white female. I don't have an.
Okay, so now it's a white female. That's different, but it doesn't mean that it's not. It doesn't mean it's not related. I'll just leave it at that with that so far.
An age approximation, but just a white female at this time.
I know you mentioned that no foul play was suspected, but because of the chatter on social media when it comes to suspected serial killers, can you emphasize that this is right now no foul play? This is a death investigation, but you guys are looking into all aspects of what it could be.
Yeah, again, all this information is very preliminary. So what we are able to observe at this immediate moment doesn't appear to be anything related to foul play. However, that could change at any point in time once the medical examiner examines the body and gives us their ultimate determination. But for the time being, there's nothing indicative of foul play at this time.
I know the person was found face down in the water. Were there any signs of injury?
Another body has been found in Lady Bird Lake. Austin police say the 911 call came in around 10:50 this morning. People saw an older white or Hispanic man in the water near South First Street on the north shore of the lake. When emergency responders got there, they determined the man was dead. APD.
Now, this is the one from 3 months ago. This was a Hispanic male. They said slightly older, but just going to let you know that one, and then we're going to jump back to this other one.
Says there are no signs of trauma that would lead them to believe it was a homicide, but the investigation is ongoing.
And that's why I'm showing you that. They keep saying the same thing with this time and time again. No trauma, no homicide, no foul play, none of the same. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I just don't. From what we've seen, I just don't believe it. Okay, so let me see if this gives me more. Hold on. We don't have anything yet. I'll have the updates on it, but I just wanted to make it known. 3 months passed. Here we are again. Now, this one is a woman. Is it possible that it's coincidental and this is different and separate from the other? It is. Do I think it is? No. It happens too often, you guys. It happens too often, and they've done nothing, in my opinion, to make it to make it safer, I guess you could say. I don't know. They don't seem to. They definitely don't investigate it like it's a homicide. They don't look into these as they are. They don't classify them as homicides, and they want to keep it quiet because, in my opinion, they don't want people flipping out in Austin, blah blah blah, so on and so forth, or around. But we got to be real with this. Okay, this has been going on for too long, and it's way too coincidental that these are happening the way they are. Now, like I said, if this is true, a white female. This is the second time they found a white female within the situation. Everything else has been male. And there, as you guys know that were here with me as I covered this, there was even a gentleman that survived this situation that was literally pushed in, okay, and had to end up in the hospital. So no, there's something going on, period. That's all there is to it. So that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. One of these days, something's going to come out where they figure it out. But I dug into this. I even linked this at one point to possibly linked it to not the happy face killer, but the smiley face killer, which was a newer situation that could have been a possibility. I don't know. I looked all over the place to try to put this together as what I believe it is, and law enforcement doesn't help because they don't want it to be put out like that. So
Right.
something's wrong. Anybody that lives in this area or around, this area, they have the same feelings, in my opinion. Most of them do. What do you think, Bear?
I agree. You would think by now they would put up some kind of railing or something. I mean, are they fishing them out of the same spot?
No, they're being found in different places. They have been found in different places. Some of them are found around the same area, but it's still too coincidental for me. You know what I mean? That it's just now. And I mean, it seems to me like the MO for this thing is that, young to mid-aged males go into the bar district here. They drink, they have fun, they come walking out. They end up in the river deceased. Something's not right with that, and I looked into the fact that it was possibly an organized group of women that were doing this, that were robbing these men, per se, when this was happening. And I said, well, that could be too. I had some stuff people sent me on it, what they believed on it. I can't think of his name right now. Dash has been covering this really closely.
Yeah.
What's up, Critical? Critical said Lady Bird Lake is the same as Cumberland. People get drunk in the bars, fall in the lake like Riley. There have been multiple survivors that have told Ellie they fell in the lake, and that's possible. Yes, it's just I don't know. I can't let it go as what I think it is for right now, at least, until it's proven to me in another way. That's all. Demon Dog, what's going on? They have called an Uber to get home and never get home. Another point. I mean, it just seems like to me, and the guy that was pushed into the river, come to find out, he when they did the toxicology on him, had been drugged. There was something that he was drugged with. When and how, that nobody knows for sure, but I'm gonna guess when he was in the bar. And that's what made me want to believe. If you guys haven't seen that story, we'll have to go back to it one of these days. But yeah, it's real. Something's not right with it. No, it's not. We have two giant lakes here. I can't remember a time when they found. Right, I'm next to one of the bigger, Lake Erie. Okay, and there've been accidental drownings in Lake Erie where people, but they don't typically just fall into the lake. You know what I'm saying? So, something's wrong there. And they have, Denise, they have pulled toxicology on some of these people. They have had certain drugs in their system, a lot of alcohol, of course, because they were in the bar district. So that's what they were doing. But something's wrong with it. That's all I'm saying. There's something wrong with it. And I'll just very quietly in the background keep on reading through and looking into it and seeing what I can come up with. So at some point, welcome, Demon. At some point, something's going to come from it. Just saying. I'm going to follow this over the next 24 to see what comes up, if there's any updates with it. It's crazy to me. It just really is. Yeah, well, I'm not right next to it, Ellison, but I'm very close to it. Very close to it. Everything, I'm 20 minutes from everything, truly, you guys. I'm kind of in the middle of a part of Ohio that I can get to about everywhere. Northeast Ohio, I should say. The Lake Erie murders. Yeah, that's interesting too. Very interesting. I was going to actually cover that one day. 2 lakes out here. They're always finding unalive people. In Lake Louisville, Joe Pool Lake. Yes. Wake skating. They've been wasted in Florida around a lot of water. Wake dust. Even like I said, never fallen in any bodies of water. You know, that's good. Thank God.
Right.
Chicago has the largest amount of people falling into water, and that's Chicago was one of the places that I was possibly linking to the Lady Bird Lake situation, where the smiley face situation was going down. So I don't know if they are linked. Okay, it just coincidentally they do seem to be. Not happy face, smiley face. The happy face killer situation was back in the day, and was solved, I believe. The new one, which is in my opinion,
there's a movie or TV show I noticed the other day.
yes,
if it's happy face or smiley face.
yep, there is. It's new. In fact, I have to watch that. The newer version of it is the smiley face. Is it a copycat? It's believed to be. And it started popping up all over Chicago. Somewhat. I think there was an actual situation happened in Michigan, Texas. There's a few other places that this went, and I wondered if it was linked to this at some point. That's all I was saying. Yeah, I think that is the one, Kim. Paramount Plus, is that the one that has the happy face show out now?
It must be Paramount because
I can't wait to pull that up.
Yeah, I redid my subscription so I could watch Yellow Jackets.
Did you watch it yet?
Yeah.
What do you think?
All caught up. It's crazy.
It's getting crazier
It's
and
always been
crazier.
crazy.
Yeah, but it's getting better for sure. I hate how they put out like half seasons now, though. That drives me nuts. Because when I watch it, guys, I know we're spoiled. We're all spoiled. We used to have to wait week to week to week to watch a show, and it's like, I want to watch it all now, right now. Give it to me now and binge it. And they'll let you watch like 3 episodes, and then you're sitting there like, okay, next episode, and it says, bink, it's gone. And you're like, no, it drives me nuts. They did that with.
That's why I was kind of glad I had forgotten about it. So I got to like watch all 8 episodes.
Right. And
all at once. But...
guys, I'm a seriesaholic. I'm bad with it, you guys. I'm really bad. There's so many of them. Dexter Origins. I'm pissed about that one. The new Dexter hasn't even started yet. There's a new one coming out that I want to catch that has Jensen Ackles in it. It's his show again. Not supernatural, but it's along those lines, I guess, from my understanding, what I read. True Detectives is coming out with a new season. Fire Country's coming out with a new season. Stranger Things. That'll tell you. That's just a quarter of what I watch. There's so many that we watch. Found, I haven't even watched that yet. I think I will too. That other one that's based off of a video game my wife and I watched, we lost that. We forgot about it. Yes, it is. What the hell's the name of it? I can't think right now. There's 2. Huh?
Which one?
The one based off of a video game. I can't. Landman is good too. Dexter.
Queen of the South was good.
Queen of the South was good, yeah. Hell, I even loved Pretty Little Liars, believe that or not. And I watched all the versions of that one. What do we got here? Hold on. Thank you, Tomboy. Here we go.
Demon said Fallout.
Fallout. Yeah. That's another good. There's another one, though. It's a man and his daughter traveling, and it's kind of like a zombie apocalypse type thing. I can't think of the damn name of it. Tomboy, it's not going to let me do it. Hold on. I'm not subscribing to anything. One moment. Let me try it again. What's that?
I'm trying to think. Video game show. Man and his daughter traveling.
It wants me to subscribe, Tomboy. Last of Us. There you go, Cap. Oh, man, that's it.
I was like, come on. And I'm not a gamer.
All right. Let me show you guys something here real quick.
Yeah, I didn't. It's good.
with that,
I didn't
ma'am?
watch it. I crushed you.
Which one?
School Spirits.
Yep, I watched that one too. That's pretty good. It's got Peyton List in it. Same girl that was in Cobra Kai, which is another favorite of mine. They definitely do need to put more in Last of Us. True Detective is my absolute favorite. You guys need to really watch that if you haven't, especially the last season that has Jodie Foster in it. That one was about indigenous women going missing in Alaska. Y'all, that was great. It's the best show I ever watched in my life. And Mara of Easttown, that's another one they're supposed to be coming out with again. But okay, 10 bodies pulled from. This is from February 14th of 24. 10 bodies pulled from Texas Lake in 20 months. Cops say now a family wants answers. A dead woman was pulled from Lady Bird Lake in Austin. Texas police said the case was not a homicide, but her case was far from the first for the lake. Over the last 20 months, over 10 bodies had been pulled from the same lake, according to Austin police records. The first recorded death in this string was Ricky Parks in July of 22, according to Austin EMS and reporting from multiple news outlets. KXAN reported the death investigation for 59-year-old Parks closed the next month after no foul play was detected. According to Inside Edition and KXAN, police came to the same conclusion for 3 other cases between 22 and 23. Christopher Gutierrez, Kyle Thornton, and Christopher Hayes Clark. Police are not trying to do anything. They just close the cases and they just deem the death undetermined or drowning. And then they just move on with no answers. This is what I was telling you guys, and it's so frustrating. Nothing for the families. Regan Aparicio, the mother of Hayes Clark, told Fox 7. The family of Hayes Clark is calling on local police to take action as the death toll in the lake continues to rise, Fox 7 reported. Austin police said that they are aware of the numerous drownings at Lady Bird Lake. While each incident has occurred at the lake, the circumstances, exact locations, and demographics surrounding these cases vary. According to the statement sent to Inside Edition, the statement attributed alcohol and the lake's easy access point of some of the drownings. In addition to the 4 cases with no foul play found, Austin police said 2 people, Jason John and Jonathan Honey, drowned accidentally. News outlets and police reports show. Just 1 death of the 10 was confirmed as a homicide. Josu Moreno was shot while driving and his truck ended up in the water, according to police records. In another case, Clifton Axtell's cause of death could not be determined, according to KXAN. Austin police said that most of the incidents occurred after 10 p.m. Swimming is illegal at Lady Bird Lake, according to the city. The lake is a dammed part of the Colorado River. Look, guys, here we are. These are just the first 10, okay? From 22 to 24. And then we had this number 10 was that unidentified female. We just had another one. After that, there was more. I think there's 3 more after this. I think. And then we have today's. So this is telling you right here. The police are just close the case. It's an accidental death and they move on. Now, on some of these autopsies, guys, I think there was a few of them as they pulled the autopsy where there was very, very little, if any, water in the lungs. What does that tell you?
They were gone before they hit the water.
Thank you. So if they're dead before they hit the water, how did they drown? Just saying. Okay. This is not coincidental, folks. They're either being lazy, in my opinion, or they're trying to brush it under the rug. I'll put it that way. That's what I think it is. It was brought up at one point that it was believed that it could be a law enforcement officer, which is not very far-fetched if you look at the the serial killer from California that did it, got away with it for 50 years, basically. Yep, and that's the thing. We looked into that too. MDMA is gone within a few hours, so they cannot tell all the time if there was drugs in the system. Now, the one guy that knows he was pushed in and was able to testify to that survived, he came up with drugs in his system that weren't supposed to be there. No, she did. She had a tiny little bit and definitely did not. And that's why I cannot handle nor stand what they concluded in Kylie's case. It drives me nuts. Natalie Wood. A little bit, Cap. Yeah, a little bit. Nope. Nope, she sure didn't. There was a tiny bit of it in her lungs and her stomach based on the fact that she was in there for so long, but not enough to be the cause of death for Kylie. And again, you know how that goes. Okay, critical. Okay,
Yeah, it's a computer question.
Oh, I did a Windows update the other day and my PC did not like it, so now I have a BSOD. If I do a recovery disk from my laptop, can I use that to recover my oh boy. Oh, I'm afraid to answer. Who in here is good with computers? I wish Twiz was here.
Critical is.
Critical, yeah. What do you think, Critical? Roofies. MD, yeah. Sorry, MDMA is like Rufinol.
I don't know if MDMA is.
As long as it's the same Windows version, that does make sense. Did you do an update to the new version of Windows?
I've had Windows 11 since it first came out years ago, and I've never had any problems till the other day.
Yeah. Is it an update for 11 or is it an update for a new one?
For 11. And my laptop has the exact same login and everything, like my Microsoft and all that is the exact same as my desktop.
Okay.
So I thought last night, I was like, well, shoot, if I do a recovery disk from my laptop, I should be able to recover it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
My desktop.
Well, I think what Critical is saying is, yeah, it would be okay. Hopefully.
Thank you, sir. I will try that.
Thanks, Critical. I appreciate that. MDMA drugs for methylene, dextromethorphan. Wait a minute, I hate saying this. Methyl methamphetamine, commonly known as ecstasy, and Molly is an empathogen and entactogenic drug with stimulant and minor psychedelic properties, right? Rufinol.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but not roofies. Roofies is GHB.
GHB, that's it. GHB. Yeah. Sorry. There's so many of these that. By the way, it's funny you brought that up, Cap. I was thinking about going back and covering Natalie Wood's case at some point as a cold case. So, all right. Now I have another one I wanted to bring up to you guys too. If I can find it here. Yeah, give me a minute here. Thank you to Chris for sending this over to us. It's based out of Cleveland here. Hold on. Along the river, who killed these two longtime friends? According to the FBI, June 4th of 2019, longtime friends, 40-year-old Carnell Sledge and 30-year-old Kate Brown met at a pull-off lot on the Rocky River Reservation off of Lorraine Road in Fairview here. The pair were sitting on a bench along the river when an unknown assailant shot them both in the head. Kate died of a single gunshot wound to the head, and Carnell was shot multiple times in the head, Cleveland Police Department reports. Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix, Volume 5, featured their case. Their homicides remain unsolved. The FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the persons responsible for the deaths of Carnell and Catherine Brown. Anyone with information regarding these murders is asked to call the FBI's field office at 216-622-6842, Cleveland Metro Parks Police Department at 440-331-5219, or Crime Stoppers of Cuyahoga County at 216-252-7463. There have been a few other situations out here. This is real close to me, by the way, you guys, that I've looked at funny. I even contacted that same idiot that I called about the missing kids to see if there was, because I was looking around everywhere to see if there was any other river, lake type things that matched up with, Lady Bird or anything like that. Thank you so very much, SRB, for that. I appreciate that so much. But I want to show you something here, guys, with this too. Give me one moment here. 1 second. Now, there's different rumors about this situation, but thank you, Chris, for sending this over again, buddy, by the way. Very much appreciated. Okay, hang on. Hold on. All right, check this out, y'all.
First, it's time to open up tonight's Unsolved case file. This is the part of the program where we've got stories that are incredibly tragic. Families who are searching for a sense of justice, investigators who need help and need that tip, need some information from somewhere to help solve these cases. And tonight we're going to take you to Cleveland, Ohio. Carnell Sledge, Catherine Brown, two friends, middle of the day, meeting at the park. There's very little that is more pure, innocent, whatever you want to say about, hey, let's go meet at the park on a nice day. Sitting on a bench at the park, shot and killed. And this took place 2 years ago. It was June 4th, 2019. And as we sit here tonight, still no answers. Our affiliate, great affiliate, WEWS, has the story tonight.
For most, it was an ordinary Tuesday afternoon in Cleveland. Highs in the 70s with a tantalizing taste of warmer weather just on the horizon.
It was kind of, summer's inching closer and closer.
But for the families of Kate Brown and Carnell Sledge,
there's no sense of time. It's just as raw.
A day permanently tainted.
Missing Kate, it hits you every single day.
By a horrific crime that unfolded in the Rocky River Reservation of the Cleveland Metro Parks.
Whoever committed this crime either is the luckiest person in the world or executed this perfectly.
For Brown's family,
our birthday's coming up in October.
Yeah, October 12th.
It's the day their world turned on its axis.
It's just so incredibly painful. It impacts every facet of your life.
I look out and see families, young families, and Kate's not here.
Forced to navigate the insufferable, cyclical 5 stages of grief over the last 2 years.
We're all figuring out how as a family to stay as close as we all have always been, despite the fact that a huge part of us is gone.
After Brown and Sledge were shot to death in broad daylight in the Metro Parks. First came denial.
I don't think of Kate having been murdered because it's too painful.
And as reality began to sink in,
it's almost like you're internally bleeding.
Anger reared its head.
It's the worst feeling in the world. And I, wouldn't wish that on anyone.
After 731 days with no answers, the Brown family still finds themselves bargaining, pleading.
We wake up every day, not only ridden with grief, but constantly questioning how and why 2 wonderful people had been gunned down. We are here today at this press conference to plead with anyone who has information to please come forward.
There's no evidence and there hasn't been a single suspect.
For Kate's younger sister, Alex Zuban, depression and despair creep in. Sometimes when she least expects it.
You deal with the pain, but it never, ever, ever ceases to feel and it takes your breath away.
It doesn't make sense. Most of these stories, they don't make sense, but someone's got information out there. If that is you, have the courage. Make the call, 216-252-7463, 216-252-7463. That's Crime Stoppers. There are 2 families who are hurting, absolutely hurting. And you have to put it in perspective, what this means, what this does to a family. I mean, Kate, Carnell aren't coming back. That part of their lives is gone forever, that huge void. But then to not know what happened, to not know why it happened, and to know that whoever is responsible is walking around free. So make that call. We posted the story on my.
Now, there was rumor about this, that this was part of a serial killer situation. There was a rumor going around that this was a hate crime because he was African American, she was white. That was a big one that went around for a while, but out of Cleveland, it's not that way there. And that there's also that this was just random whack job walking around, just decided to do this. So I don't know, you guys, and I've been looking at it here and there. And I'm glad Chris threw it back at me because I haven't looked at it in a while, but it's good to bring this out now. And it is a cold case. So I may even delve deeper into it again now that it's been brought back up again.
Facebook page, please share it. Let's get the word out. Let's bring in our special guest joining us tonight in Cleveland, Ohio. Special agent in charge of the FBI's Cleveland division, Eric Smith, is with us. Also joining us once again in New Haven, Connecticut, is retired FBI special agent and senior lecturer at the University of New Haven, Kenneth Gray. Great to have you both here. Eric, let me begin with you. Rocky River Reservation. Can you describe this for folks who've never been there? And this was the middle of the day, right?
It's a beautiful day. First of all, thanks for having us. What a worthy unsolved case to talk about. And to your point, the Rocky River Reservation is a beautiful reservation just outside of Cleveland. It was a wonderful day, as your intro said. It was just starting the summer, and it was just a beautiful day, and lots of folks and lots of activity there in the reservation.
Lots of folks, lots of activity, but not lots of witnesses necessarily, Eric?
That's right. Unfortunately, not any witnesses that we can identify. We do believe somebody has information that could lead us to the individual or individuals responsible for these murders, and we're asking anybody that has even just the slightest bit of information, even if you don't think it's important, please come and talk to us. And I saw the number that you put out there earlier. We'd also like to add the 1-877 FBI Ohio number, which is manned and monitored 24/7. So please like to add that number to your list of notification possibilities.
Absolutely. 1-877 FBI Ohio. Kenneth Gray, I'm interested in your initial reaction to this story and what you think may have been going on here.
Good evening, Vinny. As we've talked about before, you have the evidence that was collected at the time of the event. And so there's not a lot that has been shared with the public as far as evidence that was collected. That may be because there wasn't a lot of evidence there to be collected at this scene, for this double homicide scene. So there's not a whole lot to work with. So really, you rely upon the public, people that may have information to come forward to be able to share what they know about this case, because at the moment, there's not a whole lot to go on.
Yeah, Eric, my gut is telling me these are two really good people that, hey, let's meet in the park. And they're just in the park. In the investigation, I mean, is there anything like enemies out there, or could it be a misidentification? What are some of your thoughts, Eric, about what potentially we could be looking at here?
Yeah, well, obviously we don't want to go into all the specifics to prejudice any future trial. We do know that they were only there for a very brief span of time. Between 5:08 and 5:18 is when we believe the murders actually took place. So that's a span of only 10 minutes, and we know that based on our investigation. And so, if it were a targeted attack, it would have to be somebody who would have some degree of knowledge about their whereabouts and their destinations, and we're able to trail them very quickly. in terms of motive, we want to stay away from that, I think, and we just don't want to pigeonhole the investigation at this point.
Absolutely. Eric, can you share with us how police were initially called? Was it someone that saw the body, someone that heard something? How is it that police end up there at the Rocky River Reservation?
Yeah, that's right. There were two kayakers that identified the bodies of Carnell and Kate, and they were actually trying to put their kayaks into the water and saw Carnell laying on the ground there, and went up for a closer investigation, identified that he was, in fact, wounded. And so they called the Metro Parks Police Department very quickly, and the police department responded within just minutes of that call. And so that's why we can specify fairly quickly the times of their murders between 5:08 and 5:18. So very brief time that they were there sitting on the bench, just having a conversation.
Kenneth Gray, we don't have the same limitations that Eric does. Obviously, Eric's involved in the investigation, and we respect that and appreciate that. But Kenneth, from your experience, they're there for like 10 minutes. I mean, to me, it's possible that perhaps someone could have been followed there, or it's completely random.
So the likelihood of it being random, I would think, is very small. The shooter probably knew one or both of these individuals. Carnell Sledge worked with kids. It very well could be that by exploring his background, exploring cases that he worked on with these kids, that it may very well be somebody that had a grudge against them because of something in that past. Or it could be somebody that knew Catherine Brown. She apparently liked to go to this park. It was not her first time at the park. And so it could very well be someone that was targeting her. But the likelihood of somebody just happening upon them and picking that moment to murder two people, I would say is pretty remote. Somebody knew these two people, one or both of these people.
So as we do with all these stories, we post it on Facebook, ask you to share it, but people also post comments. And Terry tonight writing, grew up in this area and am very familiar with this area of that park. The park itself goes on for miles, and there are places where you may not see other people. I could very well see where there wouldn't be any witnesses. Eric, for us who have never been to the park, how big is it? Are there a lot of different ways in and out?
It does. It stretches for quite a long way down by the river. Lots of ingress and egress locations. This lot is used, very often by runners, bikers, kayakers, and so it is it's also a location where you can actually get around some interstate traffic and use this sort of a cut through to bypass some traffic on the interstate. And so it is fairly, it's traveled fairly frequently. And so the idea that something like this could happen on a sunny day at 5 o'clock is not only brazen, but it's really unheard of in terms of that location.
Mel tonight writes, so sad. I really feel for this family. A park that size, maybe no witnesses, but people talk. It's nature. Someone or some people know something. And Kenneth Gray, sometimes that's how this happens, right? Someone says something to someone else maybe breaks up with someone and they've got information, or someone else gets jammed up in the legal system on some other charges and has information. And sometimes that's where you get your breaks.
Exactly. The family, Catherine Brown's family, kicked in some money to the reward money for information. So there's actually $100,000, I believe, out for information leading to an arrest in this case. That's serious money that may entice somebody to come forward that may be reluctant to do so otherwise.
Absolutely. Eric, just to let people know, give us a little inside baseball on how so you get a call, what happens from there? Like, let's say someone picks up the phone tonight and they call 1-877 FBI Ohio. What's sort of the process, the protocol from call to some action?
Well, the first thing they should know is that any information they provide to us is absolutely confidential, and that none of their information is going to go public. They will never be identified. And so we encourage people. We know somebody out there has the keys to solve this, and we appreciate this national exposure, and we believe that somebody outside of our area and our typical viewing area we might be able to lead us to a solution here. And so we encourage people to reach out to us, 877 FBI Ohio, just recognizing that your information, your name, everything that you tell us is going to be confidential and strictly between the caller and the FBI.
And it's absolutely the right thing to do. You look at these two young people, had incredible lives in front of them, and cut short on a beautiful day in June at the park. Kenneth Gray, from your experience, how much does it mean to families?
Welcome, James
when they
Moen.
do get at least a sense of justice, right? You're not going to get your loved one back. You don't get what we call closure. But when they get that sense of justice, that, hey, the case has been solved, the questions have been answered, and they get a sense of justice.
Well, right now they've got this big question mark, the question mark that is hanging over them every day. They need an answer to that question mark as to why. And so it will make a huge, huge difference in both families to find out who is responsible for this. As you say, it won't bring them back, but it at least will answer those questions.
And that's the heartbreak that these families go through. So, folks, that's why we do the segment. Again, any information, please call 1-877-FBI Ohio is the number. Eric Smith, we appreciate you coming on. And Eric, I'll tell you this, when we do stories here on Closing Arguments Court TV, it's not one and done. We will continue to do the story until there is justice in the case. So we thank you for coming on. Kenneth Gray, always great to see you as well.
All right, so there's a little bit more on that situation. If anybody has any information or curious, it's they did put it on Netflix now. It's a wild situation. Really would like to know. Rocky River is a really nice place. Things like that don't happen there. That's the weird thing. So I don't know. Let's see here. Thank you, Stormy. Thank you. Next up we got okay, so let me see here. On Friday, March 28th at approximately 1 p.m., the Gary, Indiana Police Department received a call for service in the 2600 block of Jefferson in reference to individuals finding human remains inside the garage of a vacant home. According to Gary, police workers hired to clean a vacant residence discovered the badly decomposed remains at 2:45 p.m. Excuse me, the Lake County Coroner and medical legal death investigation team from the Lake County Coroner's Office were notified and dispatched to 2664 Jefferson Street in Gary. Region News was on scene and spoke to the couple who told us they were cleaning out the garage of accumulated trash dumped over the years there when they lifted a mattress. Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry. 1 second. Hold on. Sorry, you guys. Where they discovered, lifted a mattress and discovered the remains. The couple immediately called the police, who responded and were on scene till 4 p.m. It is unknown at this time the sex and race of the decedent. According to Coroner's Office, Lake County Coroner David Pastrick has called in forensic anthropologist Dr. Krista Latham. They were basically skeletal remains, you guys. Sorry. To assist with forensic autopsy on Monday, March 31st of 2025. Sorry. The area in question has been searched by numerous independent search groups in hopes of finding two missing women. A lot of the homes on the block are burned and destroyed or abandoned. Only a few homes have residents living in them. If you have a loved one missing, please make a formal report. Make sure to include a recent photo, height, hair color, weight, identifiers, what clothing they were last seen wearing, and the size to the coroner's office. This is an ongoing investigation. Anyone with information may contact Lake County Metro Homicide Unit at 219-755-3855 or the non-emergency police number at 219-660-0000. And we will update as we get more information on the case. The pictures that I threw on screen here are just pictures of the scene itself to give you guys a little
Gary's rough, very rough.
Yeah. What was your thoughts on this, Mama Bear, when this came to you?
All right. So Emma, how do you say her last name? Baum. She was the one that was pregnant.
Yeah.
Worried about her. Of course, if she had the baby, I don't know where the baby would be, but
right.
The other one is there's a 13-year-old. I think it's pronounced Janaea McMichael Rogers. She was reported missing August 12th.
Oh, wow. Hold on one second, Mom Bear. Miss Lily C. Congratulations. Happy Dago anniversary. I haven't been on so much life reasons, but I love Dago and chat. I won't unmember myself. Dago has a good heart, so stay true and blessed always and sincere. Thank you, Miss Lily. We love you. We appreciate you and so grateful to have you here. Happy Dago anniversary to you. Go ahead, Mom Bear. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. It says on her flyer, Gary Police FBI execute search warrant at home of missing teen October 5th of 2024. She was reported missing August 12th of 24 from the 1900 block of Virginia Street. So the location was 4 minutes from where Emma was last seen, and 5 from the young girl. 12 minutes from the abandoned church where they found pink panties in a cage.
Good God.
And yes,
that
got me stumped. Gary equals toilet trash. Yeah, that is horrible area.
It's bad. Yep. Hard to believe that's where Michael Jackson come from, huh?
Right. So I'm really worried about these remains.
Yeah.
And there's I know there's one girl that's been missing from Muncie. It's been a little over a year now, which is Ella Saylor. And I'm not real sure how far Muncie is from Gary, but I don't think it's far.
I don't think it is either.
And that worries me as well.
Absolutely. Let me run this here real quick. This is about news break on the situation.
Tonight, Gary police investigating human remains found in the garage of this vacant home. The home's on the 2600 block of Jefferson Street. Police say workers hired to clean the home found the remains under some rubbish.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness.
Well, that was a joke. Right? Hold on a minute. I got another, I think. They didn't put a lot of this out on this, but one second.
They didn't.
Maybe I don't. Yeah, I guess that was it. Oh, no. Hold on. This was put out a day ago, and I don't know if I'm trying to find if they put any updates on this.
I don't think so.
I don't either. Hold on. I don't
might
think
have to look around on Facebook and some of my groups to see.
Yep.
Working to identify skeletal remains found in an abandoned property this afternoon. Couple found cleaning out a garage in the 2600 block of Jefferson Street in Gary. They called authorities after they spotted them under a mattress. A forensic anthropologist will assist the Lake County Coroner's Office with an autopsy on Monday. At least 2 women from Gary are missing. Local groups have been searching for them in that same area where the remains were found. Most of the homes on the block are burned, destroyed, or abandoned.
Yeah, this place is like a demilitarized zone nowadays, you guys. It's bad. It's really bad. That's it. That's sad. That's it.
Yeah, I'll try and stay up on it. And if anybody else hears anything, please let me know.
Yeah, 100%. Please. Anything we can do to keep up with this stuff. You okay there? Oh, it sounded like you're doing jumping jacks on your microphone. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's probably me typing.
Oh, there you go, Josie. There you go. There you go. All right. Moving on. Let's see here. What else did I have thrown at me? Thank you for putting that in, by the way, Mama Bear. And guys, we will be keeping up with that and these other cases of these other missing women. So yeah, if you go to Indiana, don't go to Gary. There's nothing there.
Please don't.
It's just not a good place to be. You may not come back from there, and that's not a joke. It's pretty scary. It reminds me of the town that I grew up in. Turned into a complete, total demilitarized zone. It's crazy. Let me see here. Oh, yep. This is important, especially for me and most of the rest of us, y'all. Change. Just a quick PSA. The FDA issues recall on coffee grounds in 15 states. 700 cases of the product were incorrectly labeled as decaffeinated. So it's really not a big deal, but if you're expecting to wake up from it, you're not going to. FDA said on Tuesday of the 25th that they issued a Class 2 recall on Massimo's and Eddie Beverage USA. The parent company provides coffee products to retailers, one of which is our family. The recall voluntarily initiated Massimo's and Eddie Beverage USA was initiated on March 13th. As of writing, the recall has yet to be terminated. I guess that would be one of the brands, our family. So if you're trying to buy decaf, it's not going to be. You'll be a little surprised, folks. So be careful if you get that. They also had that recall on 75,000 bottles of the 2 International Delight coffee creamers. If you remember that not too long ago. So just be careful, guys. Just a little heads up there. Thank you, Molly, for sending that through. It's always much appreciated for everything you guys drop in here. I appreciate that very much. Some people can't drink caffeinated coffee, and when you're buying it and you end up with not having it, that could be a problem. Let's see. I know it wouldn't do me any good, but one moment here. Let's see here. Hold on. Okay, next up we got
Yeah, it will stop.
oh, this situation's wild.
Only on 13.
Check this out, you guys. Back in Texas we are. Good Lord. What is going on in Texas these days, guys? It's too hot. People go crazy there.
On 13, dramatic video of a midday shooting that sent children running. The target, their own mother.
For him to do that, and especially with kids in the back seat, man, oh my.
Trigger warning. Content may include sensitive or violent content not suitable for all viewers. Feel free to step out if needed.
I don't know that you're going to need to, but nowadays the news just seems to show everything. So just in case, I like to throw that in.
Yeah, better safe than sorry.
My God.
It's a brazen crime that shocked neighbors, and tonight, an estranged husband is still on the run for shooting his wife.
ABC 13's Jessica Willey is in Stafford, where the shooting happened with the urgent plea from police. Jess?
And Stafford police are releasing this video, hoping it will compel someone to come forward with information on where Jeremy Bangaro is. There is a reward. The victim survived. Neighbors tell me she and her children, though, are terrified. Doorbell camera video shows a man identified by Stafford police as Jeremy Bangaro in a surprise attack on his estranged wife. Her 2 teenage children in the line of fire, Bangaro at the driver's side shooting.
They came, it's like
so much commotion Monday afternoon just across the way from neighbor Ann Mosley.
Monday around 12:05, there was rapid gunfire that we heard, pow, pow, pow.
It happened at the park at Tivoli Apartments on Sugar Ridge. Bangaro runs off. The victim's son seeks help at a neighbor's door. The 33-year-old with an arrest warrant tonight to police on the hunt for him. Last seen Monday on West Airport in his red Chevy Silverado truck. Their message, do not approach.
Obviously, Jeremy is a danger to the society, and he poses a danger to officers that are looking for him as well. Urge you not to approach him. Anyone with the information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers.
The shooting, the latest violence in a long list of incidents involving his wife. Court records show Bangaro has been charged every year in either Fort Bend or Harris counties since 2022 with assaulting her. In fact, he was released from jail at the end of January after an 80-day sentence for family violence. He got credit for 50 days time served.
A couple of them part.
Neighbors say the woman had left him. The couple had no children together. They did not live together, but they recall fighting outside. Police responded to the complex just 2 days before the shooting.
I was on a welfare check here on Saturday morning.
There appears to be a history here that's escalated to this sense of violence.
Which makes the manhunt more urgent, police say. The victim, struck twice, survived. Friends or family hiding him could also be charged. There is a $5,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
Oh my God, I hope they do catch him. I really hope they do.
After this ruthless act of violence.
And our hope is to get justice for them.
In Stafford, Jessica Willey, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
What the hell is wrong with people? My God, poor kids had to sit there and watch that in the middle of the gunfire. They could have been hit. I mean, this is insane, you guys. Right out in the middle of broad daylight. Nobody cares anymore. It's just nuts. Horses in the house. Welcome, Walt. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Nay to you too. Did you hear about the guy shot his wife in Kentucky? That was insane. It's been on court TV at Fort Hood. I don't know, Kim. I don't know. I have to look. I have a bunch of stuff in the background that I haven't even got to look at, so it could be in there. Yeah, people are beyond regarded. Nobody cares anymore. They just don't. They don't care anymore. And that nobody has fear of consequence. Everybody just does what they do. And it's becoming insane. Also, you guys are familiar with it. There's another case, and Stormy, thank you for putting it.
First at 11, a News 13 exclusive.
Stormy, thank you for dropping these things in here for us as well as everybody else that does it. You guys are amazing. We're all familiar with the Micah Miller case. Okay. We all know who John Paul Miller is. Such a great person that he is. So,
what's going on behind you?
What's that?
What in the world is going on behind you?
I have no idea what they're doing back there. Oh, they're looking for a pair of socks that supposedly came in a package.
On top of the china cabinet? Hiya, Beaky.
Okay, hold on. Nope, it was one package. That was it. They lost. Hold on.
First at 11, a News 13 exclusive. The family of a man who drowned in 2021 is speaking only to News 13 after the Horry County Coroner's Office says it now has new evidence related to his death. Thank you for joining us at 11. I'm Edward Moody.
And I'm Trish Williford. We've learned this case also has ties to Myrtle Beach pastor John Paul Miller, who's gained national attention since his wife's suicide last April.
News 13's Adriana Lawrence has followed this story closely. She joins us in the studio and tells us why the family is speaking out more than 3 years later and what led officials to take a second look. Adriana.
Well, Trish, Edward, at the time, the coroner's office ruled 40-year-old Chris Skinner's death as an accident.
The family says they never questioned what investigators found, but recent events in the last year have made not only the family raise questions, but outsiders as well.
When the police were doing their investigations on the scene, they were told certain things. And now there's been acknowledgement that some of those things are inaccurate.
Chris Skinner, an Army veteran, was paralyzed from the neck down after a car crash when he was just 20 years old. He soon after became a motivational speaker and author. But in the morning of September 6, 2021, police reports state Skinner went to the community pool to meet someone for a game of chess. While strapped in his wheelchair, surveillance video shows he fell into the pool and was there for about 40 minutes before first responders pulled him out. The police report goes on to say the video shows him trying to pull his head up. It goes on to say Chris's wife, Susie Skinner, tried to produce a do not resuscitate form, but the form was not filled out, so Chris was taken to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Dashcam video News 13 obtained shows who Chris's family says is John Paul Miller and his late wife Micah with Susie at the scene. According to a recent testimony in court, Susie says she's known John Paul since 2019 and is now his girlfriend. John Paul is also being investigated by the FBI. Chris's sister, Tamara McDermott, tells us Chris attended church at Solid Rock Church, where John Paul was the pastor, and didn't have positive feelings towards him.
About 4 to 5 months prior to his passing, he did talk a lot about the pastor of that church. He did stop going to church there. He would talk openly to, me, my family, close friends of his, and others about, why he was distancing himself from the church.
McDermott couldn't say why Chris had those feelings, but a 2024 affidavit filed by John Paul's ex-wife, Allison Williams, states John Paul began a sexual relationship with another woman whose husband later drowned. It goes on to say the woman's husband confronted John Paul 2 weeks prior to his drowning. McDermott says Chris's funeral was held at John Paul's church, Solid Rock. She adds, following Micah's death, many people began to question what really happened to Chris.
And that caused, frequent speculation all over media sources, social media sources, and that caused just people to put a lot of phone calls into the Myrtle Beach police, the coroner, on a regular reoccurring basis.
What people began to question was what McDermott calls inconsistent information. In police reports News 13 obtained, it states his wheelchair was seen moving towards the pool and falls in. But the coroner's report states Chris appears to have gotten too close to the pool edge, causing the wheel to slip and then fall in. The coroner's report also states an autopsy wasn't done, statements were not taken, and nothing was filed under witnesses or from the death scene.
Of course, if the coroner has made a decision to reopen investigation, and of course her release statement, I believe that there is means to say that it was going to be potentially something other than an accident.
So that's something that's being looked into, an alternative than an accident, at least being looked into.
Yes, correct.
Now, we've reached out to the coroner's office to ask why a few items were not filed and if this is typical for accidental drowning cases. Count on News 13 as we work to learn more.
And Adriana, what are the next steps in this case?
Well, all the family has said right now is that the coroner's office and Myrtle Beach Police are both looking into this case and are not sure of the timeline just yet.
All right, Adriana, good digging there. Great details. Thank you. A Lumberton man.
They probably have CCTV footage there, Kim, which, oh boy, do I want to see it, because if I see this person, it's one of those motorized wheelchairs pushing the button to get this wheelchair by, like, come on now. Like, John Paul already got some explaining to do, but he's really going to have some explaining to do now. Okay. Just saying. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I don't know. Anything, Mama Bear, on that one?
No, it's just very suspicious.
I don't trust anything that comes from that man at all. Thank you, Be Real. We appreciate that. Yes, we have hit 10K, guys. 100% organically. We are there. Hopefully we stay there this time and keep growing from there. So thank you guys for helping to do that. You guys are amazing people. Every one of you. Let's see here. Great to see you, by the way, Be Real. All right, guys, moving on. Next situation. And again, Stormy, thank you for throwing that in here. Appreciate that so very much. Okay. Next up. One moment here. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. My wife is making stuffed peppers and stuffed cabbage today for dinner. I love stuffed cabbage. Love it. Love it. Love it. Hold on a minute here. Let's jump. Hold on. I think. One moment, guys. Just getting this alert. Okay, you guys. Sorry. One link didn't work. So we're going to go with this other one. I'm sure most of you know that have been here with me how in depth I covered the Summer Wells case. We haven't heard a whole lot about Summer Wells' situation in a while. There's been a few little updates here and there. We've gone 3 years without knowing anything about this little girl, and it's really sad. I do have. Let's see here what this is. I do have a couple little things that I've been been fed and looked at too. It is, I don't know how you would take it, I guess you could say, but let's see what we got here.
You will know that the first case I covered extensively is the Summer Wells case. Summer is so close to my heart, having a daughter of similar age myself. The statements that her parents have put out there have so many red flags, it's hard to keep up. Sadly, Summer is still missing, and even after all these years, no arrests have been made, no persons of interest or suspects officially named, and TBI still have no idea where Summer is. Apparently they do have someone working on the case daily, but not sure how they expect any of us to have faith in them. When all this time has passed, and not much is being done to find Summer. Is anyone still looking for her? Mainstream media barely posts about her, except on the big dates, like her birthday that just passed. It's very sad. There is a latest update that was put out on Summer's 9th birthday, where her father, Don Wells, had something to say as well. Dawn and Candace posted a collection of photos of Summer, who was last seen on June 15th, 2021, and wrote, "Happy birthday, Summer Moon. Mommy and Daddy love you, miss you, more than anything in this world." The post included a photo of Summer with her parents and pictures of her smiling while playing outside. Dawn said they have endless possibilities of what their precious girl has gone through. She could be down the street. She could be in another country. She could be abused for all these years. She could be with God. They have no idea. Authorities have investigated 6,500 tips, as well as conducted multiple interviews. Unfortunately, the department has yet to find answers. The TBI has yet to find evidence concluding that Summer was abducted or that she ran away. The TBI say that they are still receiving tips in the case, and they are committed to bringing Summer home. They will not just let this case sit on a shelf. It's an ongoing investigation. Dawn described Summer as carefree and loving, adding that she enjoyed going to church and learning from her Sunday school teacher. "Summer lit me up," he said. When asked what his message would be to Summer, he responded, "Summer, don't give up. Pray to God. Never ever believe that we do not love you. We love you, Summer. Your brothers love you dearly. It's very sad that we are in the same position 3.5 years later, still praying for Summer and holding on to hope."
Okay. Sorry. So there's that one, and one moment here. Okay, hold on here. I'm trying to pull the right one. Oh, here we go. This was put out 5 days ago. I'm not 100% sure how valid this stuff here is, but like I said, anytime I see an update on specific cases, I look at everything on it anyway, mainly because of the time I've spent on them. So let's see what this is here real quick. Sorry. See what do we get out of this?
Guys, knowing Warrior's Path like I do, well, like I did 30 years ago, there's stuff I want to check out. So let's see what I run into. Well, guys, there used to be a tree with a rope right here, and we would swing off that into the lake down there. And then if that wasn't enough for your adrenaline, I don't know if you can see it or not, but let me zoom in. We would somehow walk to the sketchy stuff going on out here too. Yeah, you could definitely bring something right here, and which I think it's probably been done before.
I'm going to scan through this, guys, for you, so you don't have to watch all of this.
How the hell did you if I had a depth finder and a boat, fish finder, I'd be up against this rock bluff right here. That's probably state parks and other parks for possible illegal activities. Just something to think about. They hit me on the way back as I was walking to the car. Well, guys, I don't know what it is about this trail, but it has gotten my attention. I don't know what it is, but I don't know, just want to check it out. And this is very close to the parking lot. And this is
Now, for everybody that's like, what the hell's going on? There's a rumor that was floating for a while that something happened to Summer and that she was either left or buried or hidden at Warrior's Path, which is probably why this is Don B, for those of you who don't know who he is. is out here looking at this, okay? I don't know. I don't, but I'm willing to scan through things and look at different updated things that come out when they do on any of these cases that we put so much time into, like I said. So that's why we're kind of scanning through this real quick to see if it's anything worth anything. You know what I mean? So
This is not the swim hole, guys, by the way. This is not the swim hole. But damn, this is secluded right here. Got a parking lot 50 yards away. Very convenient. Very convenient. A lot of thickets. This wasn't here 35 years ago. Maybe that's why it's calling me to go down it. Because it's new to me. I don't see any trash or anything. Maybe it's where people go fishing. Yeah, it kind of goes on back that way. Huh. I swear it looks like people have been going up in them thickets. Little fire. Here's a trail going up in them thickets. That must be a good place to go catfishing. Somebody's been here recently. There's a guy over, see? Guy over fishing. Look here. All right. I like to be left alone when I'm fishing. Let's go check out some of this activity going up into these thickets here. I know that there's a trail and there's trash going up in it. That was like toilet paper. Better watch where I step. Da, 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 da. Well, guys, I really don't see anything. Some trash. I bet people go up in here to use the bathroom. More likely. I don't see anything weird. Swim hole's just nasty. This is pretty clean here. Pretty clean.
I truly don't believe
They
that.
lied.
I think that law enforcement has probably scoured. I mean, deeply scoured these areas. This would be the place that Summer was swimming at the day that she went missing. Okay, beforehand. For those of you that aren't familiar with her case. So, like I said, that's why I'm kind of scanning through this to see if there's anything they come upon. Nor gonna spend a ton of attention on this. Yeah, it does me too. Under and over. Really does.
Hang on, guys. Pretty bad. I don't know what that is over there, but I mean, just a lot of trash. I don't see anything that would be suspicious looking. Looks like maybe some women have been out here. Homeless? I don't know. Use some alcohol, I guess. I don't know if there's a... Oh, yep. I don't know. It's an MPR 2025. That's fresh. It's pretty fresh.
That's kind of funny because that's what Candace bought that day for.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, wait a minute.
That's obviously not the same can, but that's what he was drinking that day. That's wild.
He was about 2025. Any hoovers? Maybe, guys. Maybe. Starting to get a vibe where maybe some teenagers and whatnot might be out here. All right. Any hoovers? That's an interesting find. Now, this is totally across the whole park from the swim hole, guys. This is, if you look on Google Maps, this is the shelter where they had one of Summer's vigils. I brought my tools with me. Here we go. No metal at all. Yeah, it's working. Too many roots and rocks. Fentanyl, everything going around. Not touching that, guys. Not touching that one bit. bit longer, look around. Thanks for tuning in. Drop some comments below again. Tell me what you think. And nothing over here, but yeah, there's that. All right, guys, that's it. Now I'm gone. So now what the hell is this? What the hell is this?
Oh, that's the outfit that Brian Kohberger wore, supposedly.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Get out of my head.
Yeah, it's a tieback suit. That's a little weird to find laying there like that. Not saying it has anything to do with her case, but what?
Yeah, Allison.
Straight, yes, Allison. Sorry.
Gateway self-storage, Kingsport. Oh, it's a construction outfit, I bet.
Yes, it's a tieback suit.
Let me know in the chat if you know what this is. Is it used by painters, drywall people? I thought it was a damn hazmat suit at first. I don't know. It could be.
It is used by everybody.
That's what.
Let me know what you think.
Everybody.
So
there's really nothing there, you guys. Like I said, I'll review things and look at things, and when it's put out, just out of curiosity, regardless of who puts it out, unless it's something that's beyond ridiculous. So he's going to look back in those areas. Guys, it's been so damn long. It's unbelievable to me. No. This is Don B. This is a guy. He's another creator that's been kind of following Summer's case along with the rest of us. I don't watch a lot of his stuff, but it had her name on it, and the way the title was to it, disturbing stuff. I mean, that is kind of disturbing. Yeah. They use tieback suit there, like, whoa. Zelda is in the house. Wonderful to see you, dear. We don't get to see you so often at all anymore. It's wonderful to have you here.
Hi, Zelda.
Ready
for the storms?
I would really like to get some kind of an answer.
Yeah.
25 months. Miss Delta's been here 2 years, guys. These people are amazing. This entire crew that are all blue, amazing peeps, and the mama bear. She counts there too, but she's more, a little bit more. Hello, Miss Delta, and happy day anniversary to you. Congrats and thank you for being with us for 2+ years. We appreciate it. Does the dad of Summer Wells give anyone a bad vibe? Don Wells gives off a bad vibe, and I don't even think that it's because of anything suspicious. It's just Don's personality, in my opinion. Don is just Don, okay? It doesn't make me think that he did anything to Summer. It just, Don as a person gives off a vibe that I'm uncomfortable with. So does Candace for that matter, in some senses, okay? They're just different, guys. It doesn't mean that they did anything to her per se, but it just means that they're different.
I get more of a bad vibe from Candace than I do Dawn.
So do I. I always have. Something's not right within that whole mixture. I'll tell you that right now. And here's the problem, though. A lot of people swear up and down that those two did it and did something to her. Y'all, we're in 3 years, okay? I do not believe that those two, and I'm not degrading them by any means, I'm just saying, I do not believe that those two people, of all people, could keep a secret like this for 3 years. I just don't, especially considering what we've seen Candace do on YouTube alone, the drinking and the blurting things out and saying things and Dawn flipping out, blah, blah, blah. They've been through a lot, which can explain a lot of their actions, but I can't imagine if they did something wrong that they could keep that secret for 3 years, folks. Come on. I don't think it's possible. That's all I'm saying. And that's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. And they could, but I really don't think so. I just don't. I don't know. I can't get through that case. I can't process it. It doesn't make sense to me. And you know what scares me is that as we sit here with Sebastian's case, watching how Sebastian's case goes forward, I'm petrified that his case is going to turn into another Summer situation. I don't want to see that happen. I don't. She did, Allison. She did. But see, that has been broken down to the stuff that when Summer first went missing, it came out that Candace was on certain medications or started taking certain medications for that situation. And that is what is being attributed to her acting the way she did in some senses. So I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I have questions. I'm not going to lie. Big questions. So, it's been so long. This little girl needs to be brought home. I definitely don't think she's with us any longer, and I haven't probably for a long time. But again, now the only other option I did have in my, as far as theory goes, is that she was sold or stolen and then sold. And that she's out there. If she is, I mean, it would be great that she's still alive, but the horror that she's probably going through is not great. So,
Midnight. Yeah.
Huh? What'd you say, Bear?
I was talking to ghosts. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No apologies. I just didn't know. So anyway, that's my feelings on that. It would be wonderful to get a breakthrough on her case, to figure something out, to get some kind of anything, truly. Just saying. Let's see here. Give me a minute here. See what we got going on. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this, by the way, here.
Good evening, it's Theaters.
I try to look at things that are happening all over the world. Big things. I stay away from politics for a reason, but this is any of our Australian people that come in and out of here. I hope they're all okay. I hope they weren't involved in this situation. I don't know if you guys.
Many as 10,000 killed after a massive earthquake rocked Myanmar. It's feared as many as 10,000 people have been killed after a massive earthquake rocked Myanmar. The country was already in the grip of a severe food shortage. Tonight, it's faced with a full-blown...
My God, not Australia. Disregard what I just said. Just watch this. Sorry.
Humanitarian crisis. The impact of the magnitude 7.7 quake was so severe, it was felt as far away as China and Thailand.
Buildings crumbling into rubble and dust. Those in their homes violently shaken as panic sets in. Myanmar at the mercy of Mother Nature, delivering a deadly earthquake to one of the poorest countries in the world.
What I was thinking of, I was putting four thoughts together at one time. My ADHD causes problems for me, guys. Jesse was in here this morning. He's from Thailand. I was thinking about that and that this was being broadcast from Australian news, blah, blah, blah. So just disregard me. It's a horrible situation. And I was hoping that Jesse's family and everybody were okay in Thailand, but he's in Cambodia and he seemed okay. So that's good. That's what I was. Sorry.
The last earthquake of this size in the region was 80 years ago.
There's a significant amount of the fault ruptured and a lot of ground shaking occurred from these seismic waves.
Thousands feared dead and many more injured or missing.
I would be absolutely surprised if the number doesn't increase exponentially.
In neighbouring Thailand, more than 1,000 kilometres away, this under-construction skyscraper collapsed in Bangkok. At least 10 people killed and many more missing. Search and rescue teams sifting through what's left. City buildings with rooftop pools swayed back and forth, water cascading onto power lines below. Surgery performed outside after this Bangkok hospital was evacuated. Patients fanned in the heat as this shed becomes a ward. Presenter Sophie Monk among the Australians caught up in the quake.
On the 52nd floor, so it was like going side to side to side, the building, like we were climbing from side to side on our tummies.
Yunnan in China's southwest also feeling the earthquake. These nurses clutching newborns and their cribs as the building around them rocked with each tremor. The epicentre, Mandalay, feeling the full force of the 7.7 magnitude quake. The ancient city now in ruins, mosques and sacred sites now debris. Access made more difficult with several main bridges collapsed, railway tracks twisted by the shifted earth. This is the city's airport. Those inside scrambled to find an escape. Hundreds dropping to the ground outside, bracing for the aftershocks.
Morning, Brian.
Elsewhere, it was too late. A frantic search through mountains of rubble helplessness becoming clear.
We have teams right now in a couple of locations globally that are readying supplies and loading them on planes, and those planes should be off the ground in the next 24, 48 hours.
The country is ruled by its military after a 4-year-long civil war, a severe food crisis already crippling millions, and now this. Further aftershocks almost certain.
A large aftershock magnitude 6.4 that occurred just 11 minutes after the main shock. And we will continue to have these smaller earthquakes that will occur for weeks, if not months, maybe even a year from now.
Myanmar's military government declaring a state of emergency, calling for international help. The first humanitarian supplies arriving, tents, blankets, food and generators to a country desperate for any relief. Hayley Francis, 9 News.
Absolutely horrific. So prayers to all those people, guys. It's just unbelievable how fast and how devastating these things happen. Hurricanes and earthquakes and all these crazy. I mean, it's insane. So I hope Jesse's family and everybody, they're safe, they're sound, everything's good. And everybody over there, like I said, prayers to all of them. It's a lot. Moving on. Brian is in the house. Hello, Mr. Bry Guy. How are you, sir? Hope you're doing good, buddy. Okay, let me see here. Okay. Where are we at here now? Oh, hold on here. I do have... One moment here. Where did it go? Oh yeah, this stupid thing. Might as well show it. So
First guest tonight is this.
If nothing else, we can make fun of it. But I'm just keeping everybody up to date on it.
Who unearthed that data? Former FBI agent Jennifer Coffin-Doffer. You think the right way, because you were onto this 2 years ago, before we knew about this developmental disorder and challenges to his speed and agility. 2 years ago, as a runner, you checked.
Yes, ma'am.
Said not the dumb duo again.
Yeah, the dynamic, idiotic duo, but
Dumb and Dumber.
We can make fun of it if nothing else, because they're both just. This is so stupid, you guys. Watch this.
Hi, Brian.
The Strava app to see if he was on it, and you found that he was.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, Ashley. You know, when you look at somebody who's capable of killing 4 people in such a small amount of time, you're going to want to know, is this person physically fit enough to do this type of murder? And
wow, Jen. Looks like what like okay. All right, I want to see how she turns this around, because this is what she does, okay? We've all talked about Brian having the I always forget to say it right. Dyspraxia, okay? He's got dyspraxia. Absolutely. What she just said is a huge point in this case, you guys. When you see somebody that commits a quadruple homicide, you're going to want to know, is that person able to have the dexterity and the speed and all of that to be able to do something like this? Here we are. Now watch what she says here.
And when I saw this on Strava, I got the picture of somebody that not only is very coordinated, but also very fast.
Okay, let's clip that back one more for a second here, guys. Okay. Pay attention.
But also very fast. To do this type of murder. And when I saw this on Strava, I got the picture of somebody that not only is very coordinated, but also very fast.
So let's talk about that. You spotted his times. I saw 6 minutes-ish. Did you see like under 6 minutes? And tell me what that, like you went through the training with the FBI. Your top agents, could they run that?
So Ashley, at the end of training school and in the middle and at the beginning, we're timed in a 2-mile run. And for a male to receive the top number, which was a perfect 10, he had to run 6-minute miles, 12-minute a 12-minute 2-mile. So this is pretty quick. It's pretty fast. No, it's not Olympic time. It's not in 4s or 5s, but it's fast. And for a recreational runner, it's quite an accolade to be able to run that fast.
So talk to me about, okay, so we know that his app had him running, faster than the average bear, but what about the routes themselves and what a normal runner records on their Strava and why they record certain routes?
Well, I found this interesting because he's sort of weaving out, as you can see, some of these some of these housing areas and developments and by them. And you just wonder, was he in training for what he anticipated doing? Understanding that you would need to be in this kind of a shape. In addition, Strava can provide such other important information. You might remember the Mo Wilson case where this was used. Her killer actually tracked her and found out where she was. So this is an app that can be used to.
For those of you that don't realize this genius here just completely contradicted herself, okay, by stating that knowing that somebody that committed a quadruple homicide, I would believe that they would be very quick and have dexterity and all that fun stuff that Brian absolutely does not have, but she's saying he does, knowing that he has, after she mentioned, we all know that he's got the dyspraxia and things. And I mean, this is out there. Like, look at her face. Okay, look at her face. That's Jennifer Coppendopper to me right there. That face. That's all I'm going to say.
Figure out where people were. And so I thought law enforcement might use that in case Kaylee or Maddie or Xana, anybody might have used that and been part of that as well.
So super fascinating that his patterns had him going up cul-de-sacs and back streets, because I started to wonder if maybe he was casing houses or looking, if he's guilty of this, was he casing houses or looking for targets before he came upon 1122 King Road? Because I think you found that much of his running was happening very late at night, like around midnight.
Right. The running that we saw was at 12:45 at night, and this was back in August. And so I believe he could have still been looking for whatever target. Again, if he committed this crime, it would be very interesting for him to be able to case in this way and look and surveil and possibly pick out a target.
The other issue is with the defense saying that he doesn't lack the speed or agility to pull off this kind of a crime. You discovered the kinds of surfaces that he was running on and the kind of agility that you would need to run in Pullman, Washington, and the places he was running.
Right, absolutely, Ashley. This was through.
Okay, let's back that up one more time and hear this again. So if he's out running at 12:45 at night, this was back in August, like she said, casing things. But he was running in Pullman. So where did the crime happen? Can somebody remind me where the crime was committed? Anyone? Oh, wait. He's running in Pullman, Washington. Possibly casing situations. The crime happened in Moscow, Idaho. So once again, Jen, you're a little slow.
Through these areas where you're going to have curves, you're going to have a change in elevation from a sidewalk, say, down to the road. You're going to have different roadside surfaces, asphalt and such. And so these aren't areas that are necessarily very easy to maneuver when you're running through these types of areas. So that also tells me the agility that would be involved as opposed to, say, a track.
One last question about his running, and that is the set of, the routes that he ran. He didn't have a set of routes. And I think that you explained it best by suggesting runners typically want to better their times or best their times, and they often do the same kinds of routes. Not so for Kohberger.
And once again, if you're casing a situation for a possible, a crime, I would imagine you'd run the same set of routes. Maybe, Ashley? Maybe. I don't know. Because you're casing that same area again and again to put together the situation. But no, Brian was all over the place when he would jog, okay, and run and stuff like that. So, oh boy.
Yeah, typically you want to run a very set pattern and distance. So if you're improving, so that where you're running is safe to run. I mean, I found the fact that he was running at 12:45 at night very unique for a runner because it is so very dark, certainly in Washington as well. In other words, that less lit areas. And so actually it puts a runner in danger. So typically you run those paths that are safe and that don't deviate.
Thanks for watching.
No comment. I've said enough. Wow. Wow. Okay. And then we have this. What were you going to say, ma'am?
No, I was just laughing.
It's unbelievable the depths that these people will go to try to prove what they believe, which is understood. I get that. But when you're contradicting your own thoughts, I don't. Nope. Oh, big time, devil woman. I mean, the straws are down to nothing now, so keep on grasping. Yeah, I got you, Stump. She is beyond definitely a clown. Just works for a bad circus, I'll put it that way. Vinny put this out 2 days ago as well. Just clip this here real quick. This is hold on here. Show. And I thought this was kind of interesting. It's still kind of funny to me too, some of it, but
University of Idaho students. The community was paralyzed with fear as investigators embarked on a relentless pursuit of the perpetrator. Their efforts coalesced around a
well, that was Ashley Jennings, guys. Did you see that? I never saw her there before. Right there. And there's Bill Thompson. That must have been when the prosecution. Okay. Anyway.
Their efforts coalesced around a 28-year-old criminology PhD student from a neighboring university. A pivotal break came when a K-bar knife sheath was discovered at the crime scene, bearing DNA that allegedly matched the suspects. Surveillance footage further implicated him, capturing a white Hyundai Elantra identical to the suspect's vehicle, circling the vicinity during the time of the murders.
You know, that's something else I wondered too with this case. Okay, let's say Brian did this, okay? He went to, and lived near Wazoo, Washington, in Pullman, okay? Washington State, Washington University, I'm sorry. So why wouldn't he commit the crime there? Why did he come to Moscow to do it? I just thought I know it's kind of an empty question, but I'm just curious, like why did he do all that? You know what I mean? If he did that, it would have been so much easier to, let's use Ashley's or Jennifer Hackenkopper's words, case where he worked, pick people from there as far as victims go. You know what I'm saying? Like it would have been so much more understandable, but no, he went to a completely different town, according to them, and allegedly this is what happened. And it's just interesting to me. Very interesting. I know. I'm sorry, devil woman. You can't ask logical questions in this case because you're condemned for it. Sorry, I get it. You're right. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to be logical here. I'm just saying, like, think about that. The man worked there, lived there. I mean, he worked with students, guys. He was a teacher's assistant. What better way to get to know a target for something like this? But no, you went to a different city altogether, but he wasn't there either. Remember that. So that's how he committed this crime, because he wasn't there. So moving on.
Cellular data records placed him near the victim's residence both before and after this brutal quadruple murder.
And see, this is what's problem here. Even I love Vinny. I love Vinny, but they're still putting out misinformation via mainstream. Okay. That's been debunked. That shouldn't be able to be put out now, but it is, because it's part of the narrative.
Murder. These converging pieces of evidence culminated in the suspect's arrest, and now he waits for his death penalty trial to begin. And this is a huge trial.
Now, the reason why we're looking at this one, guys, this is in regards to Brian's behavioral issues and behavioral things, allegedly, okay? And that's why I thought this was interesting.
Scheduled for this summer. And when you think about the magnitude of this case, this is not going to be a one-week trial. This is going to take place over the course of months. We've seen what the defense is doing. They are fighting every piece of evidence. They are extremely aggressive in doing so. Prosecutors amazingly thorough in everything that was done. I remember when the story broke, one of the fears that I think a lot of people had was this happened in a small town.
Bro, Vinny, again, the prosecution's thorough, guys. Did you guys know that? They've been thorough and it up. I'll say that, yeah. But come on, Vinny. Your paycheck's not that big.
They're not used to these types of cases, these types of investigations. But investigators here did an amazing job. And they brought help in from the state police. They brought help in from the FBI. But make no mistake, this case was investigated professionally and picking up information and details from everywhere that led them to the suspect who was arrested. There have been pretrial hearings, and we've seen some of them. Some have been sealed, but we've gotten some information from many of them. But I think it all comes back to one piece of evidence in this case, and I think even the judge realizes that. Take a listen.
The magistrate wasn't given a chance to ask that. She wasn't given a chance to ask that when she wasn't told about unknown male B, blood on the handrail. She wasn't given a chance to ask about that when she wasn't told about unknown male D, blood on a glove right outside the residence. She wasn't given a chance to ask any of those questions. She didn't know that Brian's car, and the court's question, good question, what does that mean? Could it mean there's more than one person? The answer to that is, or it could mean it's not Brian because his car's got nothing in it and there were only 13 minutes to do this. The magistrate didn't get to know that.
In fact, his DNA is still on the knife sheath, though. That's the problem, counsel, for probable cause purposes.
Very casually, but I mean, this is the case. It's a small piece of evidence, a small piece of DNA on the knife sheath that was left at the scene of the murders upstairs and on this little snap. That is really the foundation and by far the most important piece of evidence, because prosecutors will argue the DNA is on the knife sheath, the victims were murdered by the knife that is missing, and the person who brought that knife is the killer, and the DNA that's found on this sheath matches the defendant. So this is left at the scene, right? So, and the murder weapon has never been recovered. And that brings me to the first question in our investigation, which is someone trying to commit, I guess, the perfect crime. Did the suspect try to buy a replacement K-bar knife? The knife sheath is gone. The knife, I'm sure, is gone as well. But did he try to buy a replacement K-bar knife? And if so, why would he do so? Here with us, he has spent time in Idaho.
Now, that again takes me back to, let's go back to, I know it's not, we shouldn't do this, but let's go back to the logical side of things. He's got a PhD in criminology. First off, he's going to go buy a knife on a platform that he knows everybody can see that he did it. Number one. But yet alone, after the crimes are committed, one of the first things he's going to do is go back to try to purchase another one. Are you kidding me? How stupid is that? I mean, unless the guy is completely brain dead, nobody, not even somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, wouldn't do something that stupid. That's dumb, you guys. And that's not what he did. Guys, I read through that document and explained it. It basically, they looked at his history. And if you purchase anything off Amazon, anybody that knows this, that I purchased a lot of things from Amazon. When you buy something, okay, it'll try to resell it to you again or show you things that are just like it again. It'll pop up when you go to Amazon to the account. It pops up immediately. That thing or something else. It always does it on my account. And they're going to say that meant that he was looking for another one. No, it means that something was either purchased there or was looked at there, or something like that was purchased. So therefore it brings it up. That's all that means. And they're playing off of that to try to make it look like he was going to buy another one. How stupid is that? Truly, how stupid is that the person that commits a crime is going to go in and buy again on a public platform that everybody can see? It's very easy for law enforcement to get in there to purchase the same exact thing, the same murder weapon that was used. Are you kidding me? Come on. Commonsensical stuff, guys. That's ridiculous.
Idaho covering this case, Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas. And
exactly, Denise. Exactly. It's called Buy Again, and it's real, folks. It is. Yeah, and that's also it was a family account that Michael and his mother and his two sisters and Brian were all on together, guys. So think about that too. Oh boy. Okay, guys. I'm sorry for this. My apologies. I know a lot of you guys are like me and you can't stand him, so we're gonna listen to what he says and go forward from there.
And former homicide investigator has also been out to the scene of the crime. Host of the Interview Room with Chris McDonough. Chris McDonough is with us. Great to have you both here. Cody, I want to start with you because this is such a crucial piece of evidence, the K-bar knife sheath, and then obviously the knife that they believe was in there that was the murder weapon. What do we know about the Amazon purchase history of the suspect in this case?
Well, Vinny, the prosecution has filed a response to a defense motion to exclude that Amazon purchase history and what they call, quote, click history. Now, in the state's response, they say they have evidence of Brian Kohberger purchasing from his Amazon account a K-bar knife, the sheath, and a sharpener between March 20th and 30th of 2022, which is about...
You know, I was talking about that with a bunch of other people. The K-bar, the sheath, and the sharpener. Doesn't that kind of sound like a gift? If you were to, but yeah, if you're going to purchase for something for somebody, it sounds like a gift. Most people that buy the knife for themselves buy the knife. They don't buy the whole package thing and everything that goes with it. You know, that to me, and I asked a few other people too, and they said, yeah, it does. It kind of sounds like you're buying the whole package as a gift for somebody. I'm just saying that's my feelings on that as well as a possibility. So just saying, guys. So.
8 months before those murders occurred. Now, the defense, again, wants to exclude that Amazon click evidence because they say that it's irrelevant and that the prosecution is cherry picking the evidence, trying to make an effort to just make Brian Kohberger the guy. And the defense also says that the Amazon account is also shared between Brian Kohberger and his family. But nonetheless, the state made this filing and they talk about the click history before the murders. And it says in part, a K-bar knife sheath with a USMC logo was found next to one of the victims at 1122 King Road. The defendant's DNA was found on the K-bar knife sheath found on scene. Applying the test for relevancy first, Kohberger's click activity, which shows a purchase of a K-bar knife and sheath before the homicides, makes it more probable than it would be without the evidence that the K-bar knife sheath found at the crime scene was Brian Kohberger's. Now, Vinny, the prosecution also says they have click history again for after the murders too, where they say Kohberger makes an internet search on Amazon again for the same knife. Now, that part of the filing says in part, second, Kohberger's click activity after the homicides makes it more probable than it would be without the evidence that Kohberger had a reason to search for a K-bar knife and sheath after the homicides. These facts are of consequence to determining whether Brian Kohberger committed the homicides at 1122 King Road, the central question before the jury. This evidence is clearly relevant. And Vinny, what else we know is relevant is what you said. The murder weapon still has not been found. It's still out there. No one knows where it is. But what detectives did do is that they got a search warrant for this Amazon data. And we'll bring...
Exactly, love. Exactly. We talked about that the other night on the last show we had on this, and you are absolutely right.
A portion of that warrant up on the screen here right now. Now, that warrant shows 2 Amazon standard identification numbers, or ASINs. And the interesting part about it, Benny, is that when you copy and paste those numbers into the search bar on Amazon, for the first number, the first result that comes up is that K-bar knife. And for the second number, the sheath comes up when you put those ASINs into Amazon. And all of this is according to the prosecution, and they're filing to the defense's response to get rid or exclude that Amazon click history.
All right, Chris McDonough, let's put these pieces together and try to figure out the significance of it and why he may have allegedly done this. Well, the purchase of the knife ahead of time, obvious reason would be to commit the murders, right? That would be the argument. What are your thoughts here about the subsequent search history to perhaps purchase another knife sheath?
You know, Vinny, it's really interesting what Cody was saying. I mean, the first part obviously will show us maybe his state of mind, right? Malice aforethought. But then post-homicide, that may show a jury, if it's presented in the court trial, that he was actually aware that the knife sheath potentially was left behind. And maybe he's trying to cover his tracks through that second search perimeter.
So a situation where just in case they track him down, just in case he's the one that gets accused of this, all of a sudden he's got, well, listen, here's my knife sheath. I didn't lose a knife sheath here.
Hang on, guys. Sorry. I don't know what just happened. 1 second. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Good Lord. Hold on. I don't even know how or why that happened. Back where we were.
What happened?
I don't know what happened.
Here. It's interesting, though, when you talk about the level of sophistication, right? I mean, I cover these trials, Chris, all the time. So I know whatever you do on a phone, whatever you do on a computer, whatever you do in contacting they're going to find it. There's no way around it. So I'm wondering what the
Vinny just said it right there. No matter what you do on any electronic device, they're going to find it. So if you're premeditating a situation and you have a PhD in criminology or maybe just generalized common sense, who's going to do this? Okay? Unless they want to be caught. Think about it. That makes no sense to me. None.
The level of sophistication that this criminology student, PhD, has about actual real investigations.
Well, you know, that's a great question because remember, he was the one that stepped forward to volunteer on how to train law enforcement in relationship to, technology issues. So, is he thinking ahead of the investigators, not only pre-incident, but post-incident? It appears at this point, if he's our guy, that they're going to present that evidence before a jury and, kind of show, well, why would somebody go through all of these efforts if, in fact, that wasn't his knife sheath?
Now, here's the other thing, right, Chris? Like, if the murder weapon itself has never been recovered, if he gets just a knife sheath, then he would retain the murder weapon if he's the guy that did it. If he bought the whole set, then it could just replace the K-bar knife and sheath that he had before. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, it's a classic bait and switch, right? It's not it wasn't mine in the first place. Like you said a moment ago, hey, we've got this one here. Let me show you this. And by the way, I don't know what you're talking about. That would be the role. That's how that thing would probably play out.
And Cody, is it clear from the court filings, right? We're getting limited information. That's just, whatever the attorneys are putting in their motion papers. But is it clear whether he was looking for just a sheath or the sheath and the knife?
It says that he was looking for just the knife, Vinny, not to replace the sheath. He was looking strictly for that K-bar knife again. And again, we know the original alleged murder weapon still has not been found. But according to those filings, it was just the knife.
What are your thoughts, Chris, about where the murder weapon could be? And do you think there's any chance that, I don't think there's any chance that he retained it, if he's the guy, right? That he retained it in any place that it could be easily found. I mean, he had miles and miles of driving around where he could have gotten rid of this thing.
Yeah, and remember earlier when Cody had been out there driving around, he crossed over, I'm sure, the Snake River, which is a huge river in Idaho. And there's evidence that Kohberger also crossed that same bridge to go to some of those shopping centers on the other side post-homicide. So there's always the possibility, and this is just speculation, of course, but there's always the possibility that that knife's in the river somewhere.
All right, guests are staying with us. Coming up next, did the suspect try to cover his digital tracks?
So we are still looking for all pieces of evidence, but we are still looking for the weapon. And I will say that we have found an Elantra.
There is the suspect, the accused killer, being stopped in Indiana. He was on his way back to Pennsylvania, and it was a traffic stop, and he's in the car with his father. But it's that white Elantra, the white Elantra that was caught on video near the scene of the crime. It was a big piece of evidence in the case, and when all this started, we thought that was going to be the biggest, right? The Elantra. You could track the suspect through the car. Then we have the DNA. But how about his cell phone, right? That's every case we cover. The cell phone provides so much information. In the Murdaugh trial, we were tracking steps. The Karen Reed case as well. So take a look at this. This is from an affidavit. Law enforcement obtained search warrants to determine cellular devices that utilize cellular towers in close proximity to the King Road residence on November 13th, 2022, between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. After determining that the suspect was associated to both the 2015 white Elantra and the 8458 phone, investigators reviewed these search warrant returns. A query of the 8458 phone in these returns did not show the 8458 phone utilizing cellular tower resources in close proximity to the King Road residence between 3 and 5 a.m. Based on my training, individuals can either leave their cellular telephone at a different location before committing a crime, or their cellular can turn their cellular telephone off prior to going to a location to.
Isn't it funny, you guys, how that they had pushed and pushed and pushed about, well, Brian, we know he was there because he turned his phone off. It was Brian Kohberger because he turned his phone off, and that told us that he did this. And now when somebody comes out and says, well, guess what, guys? He wasn't there, nor was his phone. Now they're going to say, well, he left it somewhere. And then he came back and did it and went back. Guys, it doesn't make sense. The time that it would have taken him to leave his phone in one place, go commit the crimes, and then come back to it, it didn't allow for that, first off, okay? It didn't. The time allotment did not allow for that. I'm sorry for the ads. Be real, I have no control over them. I have them set at the lowest possible setting. My apologies. So again, they're reaching again because now we've been told that the pings are garbage, okay? And then Cy comes out basically and says that y'all, these people are lying through their teeth. It's absolute misinformation. This is bullshit, so on and so forth. I went off about that the other night. And now they're saying, well, I believe he left his phone somewhere and he went back and got it. What's next, guys? You're gonna say that like he hired Chewbacca to do this or something? I mean, come on. This is turning into a fiction story, okay? Every bit of this is fictional. It's a joke. We're going to talk about that a little bit later this afternoon here too, because I have another document I want to review, another affidavit, and so on and so forth. So this is just getting ridiculous to me, okay? You're reaching every time somebody proves something the prosecution shows to be bullshit, they come with another stupid excuse for it. It's dumb. Everything we've been given are lies. Everything. And made up information. And like I said, fiction. This is a fiction story now, other than the fact that the 4 victims really, they existed and their lives were taken and their families are suffering. And that's the realest thing with this case right now. And the most horrible part of this, okay? The rest of everything around it is fiction, guys. It's bullshit. I did say Chewbacca mittens. I'm sorry. I'm so frustrated with the bullshit that comes out. I can't stand anymore how dumb they think people are that are going to accept all this. It is absolute pure corruption, in my opinion, El Bariqua. It really is. Just remember that they needed to let him get to PA and get his family zip tied while they collected DNA and other evidence to fill the gaps they already have in their. Yes, that's absolutely what they did. I can't deny that anymore. I can't look past that anymore. Phil's right. Just saying.
To commit a crime. So that brings us to the next question in our investigation, and it's all about the cell phone. Did the suspect try to cover his digital tracks? That digital footprint that investigators always seem to follow in the cases and trials we cover on Court TV. Still here with us, Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas, and joining us, retired FBI special agent, a cybersecurity expert, and president of Cyber Asset Recovery Experts, Jason T. Gashin, is with us. Great to have you here, Jason. I want to start with Cody, though. Cody, we have some new information connected to a search warrant involving the cell data. What can you tell us?
Absolutely, Vinny. And this new information comes from a state's response to a defense motion to suppress some of this digital and cellular data. Now, in that response, it says that, quote, search warrant affidavits provided an extensive explanation as to how the defendant was connected to the homicides, how each email account, phone number, and IMEI, which is a number that identifies a cell phone, are at issue in the warrants that were discovered, how they were linked to the defendant, and why the Google data associated therewith could produce evidence of the homicide. The investigation revealed a recovery email of YEWSIMEIGHM@gmail.com and showed a login had occurred on that account at 4:49 a.m. on November 13th, 2022, soon after the homicide occurred through what was likely a VPN server. The investigator stated his request for the warrant was to, quote, establish Brian Kohberger's previous contacts, locations, correspondence, purchases, and any other information which could aid the investigation into the homicides of the 4 victims. Now, Vinny, that time point of 4:49 is excruciatingly important because, again, during that window of 3 to 5 a.m. approximately when the murders occurred, Kohberger's phone was off at a different location, whatever it was. But now they're saying that he might have made a search around 4:49, which kind of fits that 3 to 5 window on a VPN server.
Okay, Jason, let me ask you. Let's start first with VPN. For folks who don't know at home, can you give us an idea of what a VPN is and why someone would use one on their phone?
Yeah, VPN is a virtual private network. And what it does is it simply encrypts everything coming out of your cell phone heading to its destination. It's encrypted until it reaches your VPN provider, at which point they decrypt it, and then it goes on to wherever you're trying to go to, like Google. They keep these logs typically for a very short amount of time or not at all, but it obscures your location.
So
your actual IP address.
So I want to understand this very clearly. So explain to us, if someone is using a VPN on their cell phone, what will you be able to extract from that cell phone? What will you be able to find out? And what won't you be able to find out and recover from that phone?
Yeah, and this is where I think he made a major mistake. When you think about the data going in transit out of your cell phone, when you use a VPN, it encrypts it before it sends it out to your browser, in this case, a cell tower. It doesn't do anything about your cell phone collecting your activity altogether. And this may be something he didn't know. So whether he was trying to hide his tracks, it's not going to do anything to the cell phone itself. Similarly, maybe he thought using.
This is what he did, you guys. This is what he went to school for. This is what he was working for. I'm probably going to say it wrong. Digital forensics. Okay. This type of stuff is what he did. Is he that? He would know what they're saying here, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Excruciatingly important. What a effing illiterate moron back. Thank you, Phil. Thank you. I love it. Yes.
Oh, Phil.
Sorry. Leave it to Phil to bring a laugh. Oh, that was great. I love it. Thank you.
Using a VPN would obscure the usage of his cell phone and where he went after the homicides. Once again, VPNs have nothing to do with your device connecting to a cell tower. That's done through the IMEI.
Now, let me ask you this. Could you, because we see this email address that pops up. If you're using a VPN, can you in any way communicate with another party and have those communications unrecoverable by investigators?
So if he's talking to another party, no, not really. I mean, it's not going to do anything about what's recorded in, let's say, that Google email address. It's going to be there. It doesn't matter. VPNs are typically used for man-in-the-middle attacks where someone's sniffing your traffic. But remember I said, after you encrypt your data and it goes to your VPN, it's then decrypted before it makes it to Google. So Google's seeing unencrypted traffic.
And in the course of the investigation, will investigators have to contact the people who are providing these VPNs to get any the information? Or as you said, are they going to get it through Google and through emails?
Yeah. My history with VPNs, you can try. Most likely they don't keep them. Even if they do, they keep it for a very short amount of time, like 3 days. And by the time he became a suspect, unless they jumped on it right away, that evidence would be gone.
Jason T. Gash, and that is a great information. And I am sure we will be calling you again. We appreciate your insight, President of Cyber Asset Recovery Experts. All right. And a big thanks, Cody Thomas, as well. Great work, as always. We've got more to get to, though. Coming up next, why were the surviving roommates spared?
Yeah. I can't help it. I had to see it again. That was great, Phil. Excruciatingly important. What an effing illiterate moron. I love it. I love you, Phil. I love you. I love you. All right, Tomboy.
I'm Vinny Politan. We continue our investigation of the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. They had accomplished a lot already and were on the road to having great careers and great, meaningful lives. But that didn't happen because one man decided to end it all for no apparent reason. Here's the story. In the stillness of a November night in 2022, the serene town of Moscow, Idaho, was shattered by a crime so heinous it gripped the nation. 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were all brutally stabbed to death in their off-campus home. The community reeled, haunted by the loss of these young lives brimming with promise. As dawn broke, the investigation unfolded with chilling revelations. Authorities eventually arrested a criminology grad student, charging him with the quadruple homicide. The evidence in the case? A K-bar knife sheath discovered at the scene, surveillance footage, and DNA allegedly linked to the defendant. Yet perhaps most disturbing was the selfie the suspect allegedly took mere hours after the murders, a haunting image. As we wait for the trial to begin, we have families who have been shattered, a community in mourning, and a nation left to grapple with the senselessness of it all. When this story happened, I remember the fear that was on that campus and the horror for parents. You know, you send your children to college for them to grow up, find themselves, and become young adults. That's what happens. It's not supposed to be the end of their lives. It's supposed to be the beginning of their adulthood, a great time in their lives. Now, the brutality of what happened in there, we haven't seen evidence photos inside yet, but we have heard now the 911 call that was made. And I think as you listen to it, I'm going to play it in just a second. As you listen to it, I think you understand the gravity of everything that was happening and how difficult this was for these young folks, young men, young women, to make sense of what had happened here. So let's take a listen to the 911 call.
911 location of your emergency. Something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what. What is the address of the emergency? 1122. What is the rest of the address? Oh, Kings Road. And tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates just passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Can I just tell you what happened pretty much? What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now? I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m. Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out? Yeah, I'll come. Come on, but we gotta go check. But we have to. What's wrong? She's not waking up. Okay, and how old is she? She's 20. 20, you said? Yes, 20. Here's one to them.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Listening to that, I mean, I feel the level of anxiousness myself. Because I'm envisioning what's happening with as everyone is there trying to make sense of this scene and trying to understand it. And one of the voices you hear in that 911 call is one of the roommates, Dylan. I want you to take a look at this because this is from the probable cause affidavit, and Dylan gave a description of the killer. DM stated, and that's Dylan, stated, she opened her door for the 3rd time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. Dylan described the figure as 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The killer is walking towards her. She sees the bushy eyebrows. It seems to me like they're face to face. Another one of her roommates, Bethany, is there in the home down on the bottom floor where no murders took place. And there's text messages.
Listen. Hold on. Got me stumped. Hold on. I love Vinny. You guys know I love Vinny. I put everything Vinny talks about out. I always use Court TV. Vinny's doing his job to receive his paycheck. Vinny has to read what they script him to read. It's not his choice, whether he believes what he believes or doesn't believe. That's all there is to it, guys. So I won't hold this against him. Now, Vinny came out and blatantly stated that he believes one specific thing. We'd talk then. That's different, but this is his job. This is what he has to do, and I can't fault him for that. That's all I'm saying.
Just between the two of them. Dylan, I'm freaking out right now. No, it's like a ski mask almost. Bethany, actually, like he had something over his head and mouth. I'm not kidding. I'm so freaked out. Bethany, come to my room. Run down here. There were 2 more roommates in that house. 4 lives were taken, but 2 weren't. One of whom seemingly was face to face with the killer on his way out. Brings me to the next question in our investigation. Why were the surviving roommates spared? Thank goodness they were. But why? Why? Joining us, clinical and forensic psychologist, research, expert on violent crime, and author of The New Evil, Dr. Gary Brucato is with us, and former homicide investigator, host of The Interview Room with Chris McDonough. Chris McDonough is with us. Dr. Gary Brucato, what are your thoughts here about why the killer didn't go after one roommate who seemingly is face to face with him at some point, and a second roommate who was downstairs in his home?
Well, it's a little complicated because we still don't know the motive for the killing itself, which is essential for us to make sense out of any steps that happen during the commission of the offense. But in general terms, what I would say is we have to think in two buckets. One is the kind of what's going on circumstantially at the moment, how one acts.
Dr. Gary Brucato, we're having a little bit of trouble with your audio. It's starting to fade on us. We can't hear you.
You don't hear me at
That's
all.
a little.
I hear now. Now I hear you clear. Go ahead, continue.
Okay. Okay. But part of the problem we have is that we don't know the motive for the crime itself. But what I would say is, in general terms, whenever we're trying to figure out some aspect of what somebody does during an offense, we want to think in two buckets. One is, what is it that happens because of the circumstances and under the pressure of the circumstance? And the other is, what might be the psychological, unconscious significance of something. On the level of just what happened circumstantially in the situation, what I think is, this is probably somebody who went in with a very different plan, perhaps, for example, to target one individual. And there was some kind of intel failure where he was probably surprised to discover a whole slew of people there, and wound up just to sort of get out of the situation, doing things that were not part of a preconceived fantasy or plan. And I think that what happens is, when somebody commits a mass murder, it is an extremely adrenally exhausting process. And I think what probably happened to whoever did this is they were completely drained, exhausted, and overwhelmed, and just sort of, had underestimated everything that was going to go on in that situation. The other thing.
Well, it's funny that Gary just said that, guys, because something that I stated a long time ago, and something we've been talking about most recently, Brian has a PhD in criminology. Brian is studying digital forensic criminology, whatever the hell he's studying. He's been in this for a while, guys, okay? Pulling up on a house that has 4 vehicles in the driveway, you're going to imagine there's at least 4 people in there. At minimum, if even remotely he had followed and looked into this house at all, you would know that this is a very busy house on a regular basis. Why would he go into that house that way? That's never made sense to me. One more little thing, just saying. DKM, hello and welcome. Good to see you today. 911 call. You don't hear a siren. You don't hear a dog barking. Ellie got to the house within minutes. Minutes, my ass. Seconds, folks. Like, it was seconds. Literally. It was timed out by a few people and counted down from the moment they said they're sending. I have questions now with that call as well. Stuff I hear in the background, but that's a whole other story. Ellie got to the house within 9 minutes. DM report. Why were they spared? Dylan. They took a police report from Dylan within the first 9 minutes of responding to the scene, guys. That's weird. Just saying. There's a lot of questions. And every time something is provided to us, every time something's dropped to us, mind you, there was another document dropped on the 28th, and it's just to seal something else again. The questions or the answers that are dropped, or the documents and everything, bring more questions to the questions we've already had. So none of this makes any sense. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna talk about it again here a little bit later. So there's that again.
And of course, is that if Kohberger is guilty, he had talked online about being someone who had dissociative experiences, who would sort of blip out of reality under pressure. And I think there could have been some of that. From a psychological perspective, what I think is interesting to think about is that this is somebody who might have seen himself as a kind of arbiter of who lives and who dies, of that feeling of power, that godlike feeling that comes with, I could stroll out of here or I could kill you. And so I think that you have a combination of things going on, some of which I think resulted from the chaos of what was probably an unexpected scene, some that had to do with the same thing that would have made him leave the sheath, that overwhelming dissociative thing, just wanting to get out of there. And then that kind of unconscious thing of, I decided you live.
Chris McDonough, what are your thoughts?
Well, to dovetail into what Dr. Mercado is talking about, I think we have to, from an investigative analysis side of this thing, look at this as if the whole house was the target, right? meaning there are 5 girls living in a sorority house type of situation, meaning they're all sharing apartments together. But there's one primary target, what Dr. Mercado's saying, and that's why he goes up to the 3rd floor. And something interrupts his fantasy here. And I think he was not anticipating Ethan being part of the equation here. And I think Ethan threw him off, or else I sincerely believe the other 2 girls were in very much danger, because I don't believe he was done. I think he just ran out of gas, and he wanted to get out of there. Or he may have experienced this revelation that he was missing the sheath to the knife.
All right, Chris McDonough and Dr. Gary Brucato staying with us. We've got more to get to. When we come back, we're going to ask the question, why did he take the selfie?
It impacted like a lot of people on campus.
Yeah, most people try to like not bring it up because it's a sad subject to bring up.
Widow or mastermind behind a murder.
Monica Cimentelli is accused of plotting to kill her husband.
Famed celebrity hairstylist Fabio Cimentelli.
Prosecutors say she and her lover killed Fabio to collect a big life insurance policy.
The defense may say she's a bad woman, but she wouldn't be involved in a murder.
It's a whodunit Hollywood story, but will there be a twist that no one sees?
The celebrity stylist murder trial continues Tuesday, only on Court TV.
It impacted like a lot of people on campus.
Yeah, most people try to like not bring it up because it's a sad subject to bring up upon, but everybody knows what happened and everybody mourns and everybody's upset about what happened.
We never go to the bathroom alone, never like leave anywhere alone.
No, I hope he gets put in jail or like prison for a while, yeah. And most people here do, like nobody likes him.
This is a devastating, life-changing crime. Obviously for the victims and their families, like we understand that, but I mean for the whole community here. Another one of the developments is we've seen now this picture that the suspect apparently took a selfie that he took at 10:31 a.m. the later that morning, right? Because the murders take place at around 4 a.m. or so. Around 6 hours and change later, there's a selfie that is taken. And this is it right here. And that brings us to the next question in our investigation. It's kind of a bizarre situation, but why did he take the selfie? What's the purpose of it? Why would he do that? Still with us, Dr. Gary Brucato.
Why does anybody take a selfie? Seriously. Do you know how many selfies my kids take a day? My daughters, my wife takes them, my son takes them. I mean, why did he do that? Why did he take a selfie, guys? Why did he take get cleaned up and get ready for the day and take a selfie and throw his thumbs up? That means that he's
Nobody knows but him, to be honest, or the person he sent it to.
Exactly. Or did he send it to the girl he was seeing? Did he send it to his mom and dad? Did he send it to a friend? Believe me, he's got friends, guys. Understood, he did. Okay, did he send it to a coworker? Did he? Come on. Why did he do that? It's so mysterious because he took a fucking selfie. Get over it. And that statement that has been thrown out there, and no disrespect intended, by no means whatsoever. Even Steve Gonzalez said it. Everybody is saying, well, that means he did it. Come on. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. Again, Vinny's reading from a script. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I pray to God you don't feel that way in real life, Vinny, because don't make me change my feelings about you, sir. Please. Anyway.
And Chris McDonough. Dr. Brucato, what are your thoughts? First, your initial reaction the first time you saw this photo, and then thinking about it, why he might have. And for purposes of this discussion, let's presume prosecutors are correct. Okay, let's presume that they've arrested the correct guy. He's presumed innocent. He'll have a trial. But for purposes of our discussion here.
presuming that, let's say in trial he turned out to have done it, it certainly puts this picture into an interesting light. You have to remember that in the...
See, I like Gary, and I like the way he approaches these things, the way he just said that. If it turns out that he did it per trial, blah, 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 blah. How many other people talk that way? Not many. Just saying.
Online forum where Kohberger supposedly posted about his various psychological issues, maladies. One of the things he said was that he, quote, would see a sickly, tired, useless, and stupid man when he looked at himself in the mirror. And here, post-homicide, what we see is the thumbs up smiling photo. And what you really start to get the sense of is that if he did this, that suddenly all of that deadness and all of those terrible things he felt about himself and all of that emptiness were resolved by whatever it is that was played out during this act of homicide. Whatever playing field was leveled, whatever kind of sense of virility or power or dominance or whatever he achieved through this suddenly makes him happy. And I have to tell you,
Or God forbid that Brian Kohberger was just having a good day. God forbid. Just
that as somebody who extensively studies both mass murderers and serial killers, that, this is something that you see in people who commit serial homicides, repetitive homicides with breaks between, cooling off periods, is that they talk about that terrible feeling of emptiness and deadness that can only be filled with going out and filling the void by committing this sort of act, whether there's a sexual component or just the violence or whatever. It makes them feel like a somebody whenever they're knocked off a pedestal. And so what you expect in those kind of people is that before the homicide, there's some kind of precipitating event that makes them feel humiliated or like they're going to lose control or whatever. And the idea is after falling off that pedestal, they go out, they restore things, and then feel like a whole person again. And so when I look at that photo through the lens of somebody who may have committed a quadruple homicide, you really have to see it that whatever motivated this, the completion of the act made him feel like a whole man.
Chris McDonough, this is 10:31 the next day. I want to put some context into that. So before I hear from you, I want to take a look at what...
This should be good. So Josh, be prepared, everybody. Here we go. Show.
Cody Thomas did when he was out there kind of outlining the timeline of what's happening just prior to this and just after this point in time. Let's take a look.
So we're back here at the King Road location. You can see it right here behind me where those murders took place on November 13th, 2022. Now, what's interesting about that day, of course, the murders happened between 4 and 5 a.m., but around 9:36 a.m., a few hours after the murders, Brian Kohberger's phone pings in the area yet again. Now, did he return to the crime scene? We don't know. That has yet to come out. We'll learn those details, of course, during the trial, but he also went to a few more out-of-the-way places of his apartment and this location about 45 minutes away. So we're going to go check some of those places out right now that he went that same day, later that afternoon, after 12:30, going into the evening around 5 p.m. So let's go check some of those places out. Now, according to the probable cause affidavit, surveillance video from this U.S. chef store here in Clarkston, Washington, picked up the white Elantra passing by this Kate's Cup of Joe espresso stand. It's also consistent with where his phone was pinging here in Clarkston at the time. It happened around 12:36, the same day of the murders, and he also showed up at another spot just up the road, also here in Clarkston, which is about 45 minutes away from his apartment and about 50 minutes away from the location on King Road where the murders took place. Around 12:46, the same day of the killings, Kohberger's phone pinged right here, also in Clarkston, near this Albertsons grocery store. And not only does his phone ping, surveillance camera inside the grocery store shows Kohberger going inside and buying some unknown items before coming back out and leaving. Again, this is in Clarkston, Washington, about 45 minutes away from Pullman, where Kohberger lives, at this Albertsons grocery store. Now, the last stop that Kohberger's phone pings was back up in Johnson, Washington, about 36 minutes back up the road north toward Pullman. But the interesting thing about that, it pings around 5:30 p.m. the same day of the killings. But from 5:36 p.m. until 8:30 p.m., his phone stops pinging to the local towers, similarly to how it stopped pinging during the window of time that the murders occurred on the same day. Now, is that suspicious? That, of course, will be left up to the jury to decide during his trial.
All right, Chris McDonough. Now, so the selfie, he apparently is back close to the scene at 9:30. Selfie at 10:30. 12:46. He's at the grocery store, 45 minutes away, and then sort of off the grid from 5:30 to 8:30. What are your thoughts about putting all of that in context with this selfie being taken at 10:31?
So if we take a look at that selfie, just objectively, right? I mean, it's very clear there's a message here, right? But who is that message for? Is it for him?
It's very clear there's a message here. Okay. Well, I'm going to take that message is, hey guys, it's a good day. That's what does that mean? Come on.
Because obviously it wasn't for the investigators. And if so, why is he taking this type of reflective photograph? Is it because he just accomplished the task? And if you take a look at his hand there for a moment, I've been really curious about not only the discoloration, but on the back, towards the back bottom of his thumb, it looks like there may even be some bruising on his hand. So I'm curious about that. How did he get that particular potential,
All right, Chris McDonough. Now,
well, Donut, he was born with that. That's a birthmark. That's not bruising, sir. So quit reaching.
so the selfie, he apparently is back close to the scene at 9:30. Selfie at 10:30, 12:46. He's at the grocery store, 45 minutes away, and then sort of off the grid from 5:30 to 8:30.
Selfie, just objectively, right? I mean,
he's talking about this right here. That's been there. Okay. It's a birthmark, guys. It's there. This is so ridiculous that this man, with the professionalism that he's got behind him, supposed, would even remotely even go there. It's so embarrassing.
It's very clear there's a message here, right? But who is that message for? Is it for him? Because obviously it wasn't for the investigators. And if so, why is he taking this type of reflective photograph? Is it because he just accomplished the task?
Now, I also want to make notice of something. Since we got to look at his hand, okay? With what he did, if this was the hand that he used, this part of his hand, in my opinion, would be purple right now, okay? Bruised all to shit. If it was this hand, I'm not saying it's, it is. I'm just saying. The birthmark is not a bruise, okay? But that right there, all of that should be horribly bruised, in my opinion, if he repeatedly did this onto the hilt of that knife. Since we're going to talk about these things, Chris. So what do you think of that, my friend? Do you think that that's possible? Just saying. Thank you, Michelle. God bless. I appreciate Super Sticker so much, dear. We appreciate you being here more than you know, so thank you. So, just saying, Chris. Look at that, too, okay? Is Dagburn here? Is she here? Where's she at? There she is. Dagburn, Johnny Gobble's dead floozy mama's in the house. Hello and welcome, and thank you for giving me the option to say it one more time. We appreciate you. Wonderful.
If you take a look at his hand there for a moment, I've been really curious about not only the discoloration, but on the back, towards the back bottom of his thumb, it looks like there may even be some bruising.
Now, discoloration, let me speak to this one more time. This is a shitty picture, okay? I mean, if we look at Brian, what he looks like in court, okay, we'll be seeing it. And we look at this. That's not, the lighting is bad, you guys. It's just bad. So there's no, in my opinion, discoloration, other than it looks like the man is maybe struggling a little to make a fist. But that couldn't be nothing to do with dyspraxia or anything. No, that's just because he killed somebody, 4 people. That's why his knuckles seem a little white knuckled there, in my opinion. But there's no bruising there. That's a birthmark. There's no blood stains. There's no nothing here that I can see. Sorry.
On his hand. So I'm curious about that. How did he get that particular potential, bruise? And then when we put it in context with him moving, well, now he's trying to create a normal, pattern of life. And obviously something is going on inside of him where you can see that right there. That's a great shot where you can see that discoloration there. I don't know what that is, but it would be consistent with a bruise. But that said, going back to the other thought process, does
that look like a bruise, Bear? I mean, it looks a little red, but
Not
the dude,
no.
I mean, it looks tiny bit red, but the dude's got pasty ass skin. He's got dry skin, from what I can tell too. I thought he was talking about that. That's not a bruise. That's not bruising to me. Now let me clarify something else too. He obsessively washes his hands because he's got OCD too. And I remember that when I did that during the pan thing, my hands became horrible. They bled. Okay, they became cracked and they bled a lot because I washed them so much. Is that possibly what that is? But no, that's a bruise because he killed 4 people. That's what that is automatically. So, Chris, I'm just going to say this time, I'm sorry, but I think you're wrong.
He's moving just to kind of put himself into a pattern of life again. And if you notice on the Albertson store, to the right side of that store, if you go back to the right of this picture here, you're going to see actually it's the store. Over to the right, the other one, the Albertsons. I'm sorry. Yeah, anyway, you're going to see the cell tower back there. And that's the tower that was pinging that got him.
And we ended up with surveillance video from inside there as well.
Okay, great. And welcome, Michelle, back to the sauce. We appreciate you so very much. Welcome to the sauce, and we love having you here. Once again, great to have you back in the sauce.
We are out of time. We're out of time for tonight, but big thank you, Chris McDonough, the interview room, and Dr. Gary Brucato. Thank you so much, author of The New Evil. Now, if the suspect is convicted, everything he did in the aftermath of the quadruple murder becomes very relevant to his sentencing and punishment. And that selfie could be that piece of evidence that just reveals the defendant's true mindset and gets him sent to death row. We'll see what the jury decides.
Just stop it, Benny. Stop it. You've been hanging around with Chris too long. All right, guys, there's that. And that's going to bring us to the end of the rough part of the show, per se. Give me 1 second, everyone. God, I can't handle Chris. I just can't handle him. I never could. Anybody that would purposely create a situation in a murder case to try to bring more attention to himself rather than to try to help the situation, you have no respect for me. I'm sorry. And he lost it long before Idaho. I'll just tell you that. But just saying. Yeah, he did not. The glove situation he did in Idaho, you need some help, bro. I don't know how you're even being talked to right now. I just don't. I just don't. So, hold on one moment, y'all. Mikey's in the house. Michelle said, Dago, look at it. Thumbs up, thumb top. It's white. It's lighting shadow on his right. Yes. The shirt, by the way, you guys have seen me get washed out by wearing white shirts, okay? Yep. It does it. So the fluorescent lighting with a white shirt on, and he's pale already. I mean, let's use this up here, Krish. Try thinking that way, sir. Just say it.
Yeah. See how it washes you out.
If you're already a pasty person and you add a white t-shirt to your, okay, and then you got fluorescent lights in your face. Come on, guys. It's common sense, Krish. Jesus Christ.
Very much so.
There's a bruise on his thumb, and you just...
Oh, no. You ever opened a brand new jar of pickles and end up with a bruise on your thumb?
Yeah.
I have.
And they're completely disregarding this dyspraxia thing that has been brought to the surface now, completely ignoring that. We heard Koppendacker and all her stupidity. These people are blowing my mind. And the thing is that gets me the most with this is that we are YouTubers, okay? YouTube creators and subscribers and people that are seeing this. These are professionals, folks. That scares me. These are and were professionals, and that really scares the hell out of me. So, jizz nuggets or dick tacs for Christmas?
What?
Stop it, Phil. Jizz
Phil.
nuggets or dick tacs for Chris McDoya. Chris McDonuts. Yes.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Let's move on.
Been there, done that.
Let's move on. Oh, thank you so much, Alicia. You're a gem in the world full of stones. Amen to that one. We love our Alicia. Okay, let me see what I got here. I do have this new piece of new news that was brought about. You guys take it how you want. Somebody sent this to me. I've been following this new news outlet, by the way. I don't know.
New details today in the gruesome death of a Connecticut woman just 3 days after Katie Linney's body was found chopped up into dozens of pieces. Her death has now officially been ruled a suicide. Officers
That's interesting.
entered Ms. Linney's home at approximately 12:30 a.m., where they found 59 pieces of her remains scattered throughout the bedroom, kitchen, and garage, leading authorities to conclude this was a, quote, open and shut case of suicide by dismemberment.
Upon entering the residence
What?
garage, respond.
I did not just hear that. Sorry, I was talking to one of my kids, and I'm like, wait, what?
At least some of you caught it. This is the Onion News Network. Yes, they make fun of certain things that are just so ridiculously unbelievable anymore. But yeah.
Okay, I just.
Office was located Miss Linney's disembodied head in the trunk of the deceased vehicle. This is when it became immediately clear that Miss Linney had tragically taken her own life.
Autopsy.
I wonder if this is Moscow PD here. I'm just curious. You know what I'm saying?
Could be.
Yes, Denise, this is an absolute joke. It's a parody, just so you guys know. Sorry, anybody, slow down and catch it. Yeah. Just wanted to make everybody smile a little bit before we left today. That's all.
Autopsy results determined Linney used a combination of weapons to end her life that included a kitchen knife, machete, and bone saw, all of which police recovered from a pond approximately 20 yards away. Now, authorities have been unable to inform Linney's fiancé, Michael Rittinger, who has been grieving in Tijuana since the day after Linney's death, but they hope this update can help bring closure to all who cared for the late Catherine Linney.
Miss Linney did not leave a written suicide note behind, but she did call 911, which we believe was a solemn farewell to those she loved, which we will now play.
Sorry, guys. Hold on a minute. I bumped something. Didn't mean to.
911, what's your emergency? He's trying to kill me!
Clearly, she was not well.
We here at ONN would like to take a moment to remind our viewers that if you or anyone you know has been struggling with thoughts of chopping off all your limbs and throwing your torso in a dumpster, we urge you to contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Coming up next, a breakthrough in cancer research. Hear why doctors now believe.
So there it is, guys. It kind of fits the bullshit that we've seen in lots of different places. Unbelievable. Whoever sent that to me, thank you very much. I'll have to go back and see. But yeah, there's more to that channel as well. It brings the stupidity to the surface of what people think in a lot of these senses. That's all I'm saying. Give me a minute here. What else do we have?
Yeah, Ohana, it was a joke. Boy, you caught a bunch of people off. It just walked in on that.
Yeah, whoever sent that to me, you were paying attention. I'll say that much. I didn't even catch it at first. And I'm thinking, and I didn't see the title, like who made it. You know what I mean? At first, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, she cut herself up, and then what? I had to go back and did. I'm like, okay, stop. That's where the funny part was, is that she took her own life by cutting herself up into pieces. Yeah, sure. Sad part is that there's people out there that, a lot like some other people we know of, that would believe that. So
yeah.
All right. So what else do we have here, guys? See if we can get a laugh out of here. Oh, this is different. Some bad news about Elon. Bad news about Elon Musk here, guys.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys heard this.
Has been hospitalized after severely burning the lower half of his body in a failed attempt to impregnate a toaster. Sources confirm that this billionaire was airlifted without pants from Austin, Texas, to the Grossman Burn Center in Kansas City, Missouri, to undergo an experimental grafting surgery aimed at repairing the third-degree grill marks on his penis, scrotum, and thighs that had resulted from repeatedly thrusting direct genitals into the plugged-in kitchen appliance. According to witnesses, the Tesla CEO walked up to the communal KitchenAid four-slice toaster that sits in the company kitchenette, mumbled something about bridging the gap between man and machine, and let out a series of yelps as the hot metal seared into the flesh of his groin, grunting as he fought off anyone who tried to intervene before climaxing into one of the empty bread slots. When asked for a statement, Musk's team responded, quote, "All great innovators must fail in order to succeed," while the toaster has declined to comment.
Get ready to fall in love with your salad, because Green Giant has unveiled a new lettuce that customers can put a wig on and pretend is their wife. The new iceberg lettuce head is also perfect for drawing on with some lipstick, dancing the night away, and even kissing. So whether you're single, divorced, or widowed, Green Giant claims their lettuce is the best for pretending you're a happily married man who has finally found the love of his life. Not to mention, she tastes great.
Welcome to the Onions kissing simulation.
All right, poor Elon. Poor guy. Trying to bridge the gap between man and machine. Never fails. All right, guys. Next up, what else do we have here? Oh, this next one came out recently too. They put it out purposely off season because Christmas will be here before you know it. So they're trying to get to everybody's heads beforehand, I guess, from what I understand.
Over the last 70 years, the United States has experienced a concerning trend of excess weight gain in children ages 3 to 11, with troubling consequences. The health effects simply cannot be ignored because the childhood obesity epidemic is real, and it is causing irreparable damage to our nation's mall Santas. All too often, I've seen a mall Santa limp into my office, unable to walk after enduring the immense weight of a child eager to tell him their Christmas wish list. And every year it gets worse. What many don't realize is that even just one pudgy dough ball jumping onto your lap is enough to cause serious injury to one's joints and tendons. And while the heaviest impacts may be the hardest to endure, the real danger lies in the constant, unrelenting onslaught of these prepubescent blubber butts repeatedly flopping their tubby lard asses onto the unsuspecting laps of those who are most vulnerable.
My goodness.
These butterballs is still being studied. But what is already clear is that these Santas were never built to withstand such pokers. And while it might be easier to talk about the physical damage being done to these poor mall Santas, there is an emotional toll as well. I know. Because I am one. The time for change is now, because the longer we bury our heads in the sand, the worse things will get for all of us mall Santas who are forced to sit those double-wide land whales atop our laps each and every year.
Just think about it, guys. We got to make sure we protect our mall Santas. That's for sure. Sorry, one moment. What we got next? Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Advertisement here. This is a good ad. Pay attention to. Hold on.
Paper. It's how we find out we're 3 payments behind or got cast as a tree in the school play. Paper is jury duty. Paper is coupons that just show up in the mail. And how a serial killer tells the police they're just getting started. It's your awful novel that no one's going to tell you the truth about. But now you know it's really quite bad. It's what weaklings use to wipe away their embarrassing tears. It's the birthday card Grandma addressed to her dead husband. But now, after 11 years, paper is returning to its greatest form. The Onion, exclusively for subscribers. Sign up now and lend your voice to paper.
Gotta check out The Onion, folks. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. One moment. Let's see.
I know it's come to little baby Yoda. I'll put it right here.
Oh, good old Disney. Some of these are a bit too much, but hang on here. I got so many of them. One moment.
Wake up, Johnny. Oh, leave him to sleep. He needs to sleep. He doesn't wake up this morning.
Oh no. When did this happen?
No, you have school. First day of school.
Uh-oh. This is important to know about too. I didn't realize this happened. Hold on.
Headquarters is on lockdown. Mark Zuckerberg's avatar broke out of the metaverse. Employees were first ordered to shelter in place after the avatar materialized in a server room, let out a terrifying cackle, and immediately dismembered several engineers. The 3D avatar, which has green eyes, brown hair, and no legs, was last seen floating through the halls demanding people dance for him before snapping their necks and ripping them in half. According to employees, the only thing the avatar wants is to speak to Mark, and until he finds him, there will be, quote, no survivors.
2024 may already be heating up as Ron DeSantis just introduced a nation to his new son, Barron Trump. The Florida governor called the 16-year-old his, quote, pride and joy, and told reporters he'd be taking the teenager on a family road trip to rallies all around the state. The presidential hopeful then promised Barron that after a few more pictures with the nice photographers, they could go split a big bowl of ice cream with his daughter, Tiffany. What a lucky kid.
Researchers might have finally figured out what Big Ben is. Archaeologists now theorize that the enigmatic Big Ben may have originally been constructed to measure time. Evidence suggests that the primitive society known as England originally built it as an altar to their near fanatical relationship to the idea of time and its passage. Of course, this is all still speculation, but it does appear that one is able to discern the current time of day by merely reading the position of the rods in relation to one another on the circular disc. As far as where the name Big Ben comes from, that's still a mystery, but historians speculate that it might have originally referred to some sort of all-powerful god of time.
Matt Damon has been forced to sell his kidneys after losing everything in a crypto pump and dump scheme. The actor reportedly lost everything after a friend's tip guaranteed that diarrhea coin was a surefire thing. And now just a week after trying to sell his own blood, the debt-ridden actor said he had to sell his kidneys too, telling acquaintances that his loan shark was going to, quote, fucking kill him if he didn't pay back the millions he owes. The only consolation, Matt Damon's kidneys are now on the market for only $55,000 each, so you better buy them up quick.
Good news. This guy is in a coma. So you can direct all your angry internet comments to him and no one will see.
All right, next one here. I didn't want to roll through the whole thing there. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? What the hell? Hold on. Where they is? Where they is?
These are my favorites when I was a kid. No, all those are candies except for that Grinch one. But my name is.
Oh, yes. Do you guys have kids going to college? Be safe.
I grew up in a poor town of about 200. My parents never even went to college. So when I was accepted to Florida State, it was a big deal. I'm the first in my family who got the opportunity to be forced to drink my own piss in a frat house basement. And I couldn't be. There's a ton of pressure that comes with being the first. No one's there to tell you that sometimes you'll be up until 3 or 4 in the morning with a coked out rushmaster screaming at you to strip naked and lick the floor. But anytime I think of quitting, I just remember how my dad never got the chance to shove a looped up ping pong ball in his anus just to prove he deserved to be a fight out. I did. Well, thanks to him. The truth is, no one in my family has ever had their head shoved into a piss-filled dog bowl and been told to lap it up, bitch. I'm sure they've never even heard of a omelet, but I just have to tell myself that I earned the right to drink until I puke and then lap up that puke just as much as anyone else from more privileged backgrounds. Because I might be the first person from my family who had to strip naked so someone could brand Greek letters on his ass cheek, but I don't want to be the last. And I hope that one day my son will be inspired to get down on all fours and wade through a kiddie pool of their fraternity brother shit, just like I did. Unfortunately, my grandparents aren't here today to see that all their sacrifices paid off. But if they were, I know they'd be proud.
Well, that's a proud moment there. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Sorry, Alicia. You gotta, I mean, it's stuff that needs known, you know? Hold on a minute. Let me see something here. All right, I think this will do it for the day.
All right, well, while I'm getting this spray cheese up off the floor, Tracy's going to be talking to two special young men who are really making a difference in their community.
Thanks, Jim. I'm sitting here right now with two very special Boy Scouts, Zach Hannaford and Brian Seitz of Troop 128 in Whitehall, New York. They've decided to take on the challenge of promoting the early detection of breast cancer. Wow, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Tell me everything about your project.
Well, in order to get our Eagle Scout badge, we needed to do a community service project, and we talked it over, and we thought that we'd do help women do their breast exams.
Wow. Now, you must have done a lot of research.
Definitely.
We looked all over the internet
yeah.
to find great websites.
I think we're seeing some of them now.
Oh, yeah.
Did you send this to me, Phil? I swear to God you did.
These ones are really good.
Yeah, the information can be pretty confusing, though, so women should always ask us for help.
Definitely.
You've even put together your own website, is that right?
Yeah, my older brother Ted's our advisor, and he knows how to put together websites, so he helped us put our own.
It lists your phone number, so that's a good way for people to get in contact with you, right?
They can call us, and we'll go to their house anytime.
Well, so how's your program going to work? I mean, where do you plan to do these exams?
Well, I think we're probably going to do them in my basement.
Well, it's not, his basement's not really like a basement. It has a carpet, and it's
so
like
it's
a family
finished.
room.
Well, now, I've been told that the key to a good self-breast examination is making them a regular part of your normal routine, right? And that way you get to know your breasts and can recognize
Not
any
at all,
changes.
man. This is
I like to do mine when I'm in the shower.
Yeah, okay.
But I understand you can also lie on your bed?
Yeah, definitely.
I am kind of worried about my own technique, though. Can you show us how to do a good breast exam?
Well, you first, you kind of have to, like, look around and, like, feel for the lump.
I imagine you have to disrobe.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. I ran out of time, but anyway, these are insane. I don't think Phil sent me this. Somebody did. You guys are nuts. These are hilarious and crazy at the same time.
Certainly wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us today, for sending me these somewhat hilarious, crazy, insane things as well. I have to go look through some of these and see what else I have. I have a bunch of these that were sent to me. This Onion Network thing is nuts. I didn't even know this existed until the other day. Regardless, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I appreciate you so very much. Guys, I will be here, 3:15? Probably within the next hour or so to do the secondary show I planned on doing today. Anyway, don't forget, guys, to love yourselves and love each other. Don't change a thing about yourselves. You guys are absolutely amazing, the beautiful people. Anybody that is interested in what we're going to be looking at here later this afternoon, please make sure to tune in. I appreciate you all so very much. Mama Bear, thank you for joining me. And guys, please make sure to jump over to Mama Bear's side of things and click. Or no, she wasn't logged in. Still, jump over and hit the like button over there. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification bell, please, and thank you. And I will see you guys here very shortly. Much love, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. See you later.
Life's a journey, let's make every moment shine. Together we share our hearts so intertwined. Each time you tune in, we're dancing in sync. With every story told, just let your soul think. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. Kick back, take a breath, leave your worries behind. This podcast is magic, a treasure you'll find. With every moment shared, we light up the way. Join us next time for more laughs and play. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. Kick back, take a breath, leave your worries behind. This podcast is magic, a treasure you'll find. With every moment shared, we light up the way. Join us next time for more laughs and play. So hit that subscribe, keep the vibe alive. We're riding this wave and it's set to thrive. With smiles all around, let's seize the day. In this podcast family, worries drift away. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. So gather round friends, it's time to reflect. In this joyful moment, what's next to connect? Let's cherish the laughter, the joy that we spread. Together we'll thrive until our hearts are fed. See you next time with stories anew. Can't wait to share more with all of you. So hit that